If you want news and rumors that appeal, welcome to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel.
If you want news and rumors that appeal, welcome to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel. I'm your host, the Innkeeper, and this is our live call and talk show all about the Wheel of Time. Guess what, everybody? Season 2 is on the way. Let's talk about Landfear. No, we're not going to talk about Landfear just yet. So we're here to talk about Season 1. That's right, we're going to do a recap tonight. This is our after show. Yes, it's coming a week after the show came out. And to do that with me, I will introduce my guests here shortly. But I just want to remind you, next Wednesday, we have a special show. We're going to have a group of fans that are putting together the Chorus of Time. We're going to premiere that and discuss how that all came together. So that's next Wednesday. Be on the lookout for that video coming up. But that's not why you're here. We're here to talk about Season 1 of the Wheel of Time. And finally, my three friends are back. Let me welcome to the Dusty Wheel, Mary, Todd, and Natalia. How y'all doing? It's so good to see you.
Hooray, we're back.
You're back.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So tonight, let's explain this to everybody. Let me throw this up here. For those of you out there that are like, what's the spoiler level? This is going to probably contain spoilers that go all the way up to the end of the books. We're not going to purposely do that. Right, the three of you? We're not going to try to ruin the books for these wonderful people here that maybe haven't read. So we'll try to warn you. But no, there's going to be book spoilers in chat, and there's going to be book spoilers, here with us. So whether or not you turn off chat, you're still going to hear some of those. Just know that's going to happen. So
Yes.
That being said, we're also not going to sit here and break down episode 8 or the finale of episode 8, frame by frame tonight. We're going to try to get a discussion going about the whole entire season. That's right, 8 episodes in the next hour and a half to 2 hours. So good luck to us.
We got to be brief. Yeah. Oh, crap.
So to start us off, I'm going to get your reactions, but I always put this poll out right at the beginning. 500 people have voted on this poll already. Hopefully, maybe I'll give them a little bit. No. I think it's 10 minutes in. You've had enough time to vote on this one. I said, how would you rate the entirety of Season 1 of The Wheel of Time? I gave 9 to 10, 8 to 9, 7 to 8, and then under 7. So the winner of this poll is 7 to 8 with 44% of the votes. Then we have 8 to 9 and under 7 both have 25 and 23 respectively. And then 9 to 10 has 8%. So you look at that and you think above 7 and above got about, what is that? Do some math for me. That's about 70, 80. So 70 to 80% of the vote, if you will. So to you three, I want to ask you that, and this is just our general, to start us off, this is going to be our reactions and reviews, ratings for Season 1. So let me go to you first, Mary. Kind of what's your reaction to Season 1 of The Wheel of Time, and then what's your rating for it?
I enjoyed it. I really liked it. I didn't agree with all of the changes that were made. One of the things that really stood out to me was as a longtime reader, watching the show felt like reading it again for the first time. And I really enjoyed that. I really appreciated that. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was going to happen next. So I had to watch it from that angle. And I got to watch it with my husband, who is a non-reader. So I got to get the perspectives of somebody who doesn't have, 15 books and 30 years worth of lore packed in their brain, watching it and getting that reaction. So it's been fun. I've enjoyed myself it's only been 6 weeks.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Doing this for 6 weeks now. Natalia, I've seen some comments, obviously, in some chat with you about kind of how you're feeling about all these episodes. So if you had to kind of encapsulate it, what's been your overall review or view of these first 8 episodes of season 1?
I'm so grateful. It's been a real pleasure. And the moments of listen, the cold open of 6? Was it 6?
Well, I don't know. Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about 7? 7's my favorite cold opens, but I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
Todd, I think it's 7. Anyways, one of the cold opens blew my friggin' mind and was akin to Matt and Rand standing on the hill overlooking Tarvalon and seeing the mountain of the friggin' volcano in the background. They spent so much money on the show, and you can tell. I mean, you can also tell where they should have spent way more, meshing Shin and Balsamon and the Blight. But overall, I'm so excited. It's so exciting.
Yeah, I think you get a lot of that, especially in chat here. Todd, are you as excited? What did you think about season 1 so far?
I have enjoyed it so far. I think I'm probably down in the between 7 and 8 range. There are some things that I really, really, really like, and there's some things that really bother me. And hopefully we can kind of talk about some of those as we go along. But overall, I've enjoyed it, especially watching it. Like Mary said, I watched it with my wife and my son who've never read the books. My wife has gone to JordanCon, so she knows a little more about it than he does. But, watching it with them and seeing, I've never had either one of them go, can we watch that show? And now they're wanting to watch, so that's been fun.
Okay, so it seems like, and maybe I go back to you, Natalia, would you give it, if you did it 1 to 10, where 10's the best, what would you have rated the season then for you?
8 to 9.
8 to 9, okay.
Yeah,
Mary?
I mean, honestly, for me, the good outweighs the bad, but I'm really trying to shift that brain mindset anyways, so you're welcome.
Yeah, Mary, where are you at with that, in that kind of scale? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry about that. I was going to say, it's hard to tell for me. I've only watched 3 shows in the last 5 years, and that's The Mandalorian, Gotham, and The Wheel of Time. And I enjoyed all of them. I guess I would call this an 8 or a 9.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's, again, about 70%, at least of fans here, hardcore fan freaks. I did see there were some fans in chat that were new viewers, non-readers so far. We tend to kind of, I think, have that 10% somewhat in our chat of new viewers that haven't read through the books. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's kind of representative here. But yeah, I'm at that kind of 7 to 8 range also. It just kind of depends on the episode. The last episode to me is probably the kind of my least favorite, I would say, now that I've thought through all the episodes. But anyways, I know everyone's I don't want to go too deep into that kind of numbering them all because there's so much to get to as far as the season's concerned itself. So just generally, I wanted to know where you were at. Now knowing that, I want to jump into this idea of best and worst adaptation moment for you all. So this is obviously an adaptation. So, and fans have had so many reactions of what's been taken from the books, put in here, what's new, if you will, how it's been adapted. So, Natalia, you seem like you're ready for this one. Do you have your best piece or best moment of adaptation from the books into the show?
The best adaptation. I've been so excited to talk about it that it's now gone from my mind. Can you come back to me?
Okay, yeah, go for it. Mary, what was your best adaptation moment?
Uh,
Oh,
go ahead, Tal. Go.
Did you get it? You got it? Okay, go for it.
the things that I liked the best were the things that we didn't get to see as readers. So that's what I liked the best were things like Blood Snow.
Yeah.
You can't beat Blood Snow for me. I think
Okay.
that is the definitive moment of the series so far.
Okay. Best adaptation moment. I'm gonna ask everybody this in chat. I think that's on the list. I think Blood Snow has to be on that list. For you, Mary, is there a best adaptation moment?
I spent probably half of the season thinking to myself, talking to Daniel Henney through the TV, call her Linus, please call her. And then he did. He took the conversation that they had straight out of the books and put it into the show. And I'm not entirely pleased with how their relationship has been portrayed on the show, but the fact that they put that scene in was just my fangirl heart was just so happy.
Okay, so you don't want me to call that. If I put that in the list, I can just. You want me to just put
Call it
Lan
You
and
Are a
Nynaeve?
Lioness.
You are a lioness. Okay, we'll do it that way. Does lioness have two N's? It does, doesn't it?
No, one N.
It's
two
one
S's.
N. Okay. Okay, Todd, what's your best adaptation moment?
Logain.
Okay. Wow,
Oh.
yeah.
I mean,
All-
everybody talked about what a great actor he was, and dude was just sitting there in a cage, and it was amazing watching him because you just felt what he was doing.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Okay, so we got Blood Snow here. I'm going to put just Lan Nynaeve, just to simplify it for everybody in chat here. Logain, I'm going to put down, because this is one of my favorite, I'm just going to put down Matt and Rand's, it still to me is, what do you call it, adventures. To me, that moment that they have in the town and then with Tom, like going from the Dana Dark Friend moment all the way into the Grinwell farm and the Fade and all the interactions between Tom, Matt, and Rand, to me is one of the best kind of moments from the books put into the show. So those are our four. You get to pick. You only get to pick from. Oh,
No.
you want to try to change this? Go ahead, Natalia. Go for it.
I'm sorry. How did we leave out the story of Manetheren?
So look, we only have four to pick from, but you can ask. You can throw that in. So do you want to put that in over Blood Snow?
No.
Put that in over the
That's
lioness.
right. Okay,
Put it in
everybody-
over the lioness.
Oh, over the lioness. Okay, so you want to do Weep from Manetheren?
Weep for Manetheren.
Okay. There we go. Weep from Manetheren, Blood Snow, Weep from Manetheren, Logain, Matt and Rand Adventures. Those are the four you get to choose from, everybody. I know you have your own favorites. We're going to throw those up on a poll here. Okay, so while people answer these questions, I want to throw some questions from fans up onto the screen for us while they're all answering this poll, because a lot have come in here trying to catch all these before we lose them into the show itself. So let me grab this first one. Let me see if I can find this here. Okay, so Nicholas said, what was the criticism you expected for the show but never happened? So is there a criticism you thought beforehand? I mean, we've been talking about this for 2.5 years. We've been live adapting things. What is there a criticism that you thought would have happened but just didn't show up? Nothing that's come to mind?
People have been gross on a really broad scale, man. Like,
Oh, you're saying the criticism you didn't think, the unexpected criticism was yours. Did you have one, Mary? Can you think of anything out there where you thought, like, people are really this is going to be an issue, or I thought this was going to be an issue and didn't turn out to be one?
Yeah, I was concerned on how they were going to be portraying the use of the power. And
Okay,
since and we just didn't know how was it going to be like Avatar, was it going to be like, just over the top, or was it going to be silly? And it wasn't. At least in my mind, I didn't think it was.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. That's true. That was always a question of, like, what was that going to be like, and is it going to be maybe embarrassing? However they decide to do it, like, what is that? I did kind of wonder how the taint itself was going to be adapted in, right? And I kind of expected that not to appeal to me, but it did. Like, I like the way that it wraps around the one power. I actually really enjoyed the way that the voices turned out with Logain. That was unexpected and did not, like, I was almost ready to criticize whatever they were going to do with the taint, and it turned out like I actually liked it. Todd, was there a criticism that you expected but just didn't turn out?
I can't come up with one off the top of my head that I can't come up with one.
Okay. By the way, WL, thank you very much for this question. What was Taylor's rating for the finale and season overall? So Taylor's probably out there somewhere. he's actually around here. He's just not in the room with me right now, but he's hopefully listening and seeing this question right now and can answer that for us. In fact, he should be in chat. I think you guys should razz Taylor for not being in chat. That's what I think should happen right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so over 400 of you voted on the question here. Best adaptation moment of those 4. Blood Snow won this with almost 70% of the votes. So
I believe
not a
it.
huge shock there. Not a huge shock. I mean, that definitely was one of the favored moments. This, let me put up this one. 1 second. Fane's Fires of Heaven scene in White Tower should have been in episode 6 to explain how he got the dagger. Thoughts? Okay, so that is a really great question of how did Fane get the dagger. I don't want to, because we can get totally lost in theories on this one. So let me just go quickly to you, Natalia. How do you imagine that Fane got that dagger?
Dark friends.
You think that was a Leandrin moment?
I
You
think that's
who
the
it was-
only.
Yeah.
I got nothing else.
Yes, that is that. I mean, obviously, the question of it being Dark Friends is clear, but I wonder if that's the Leandrin tell, right? But you would think if Moraine actually knew who she was meeting with, that she would have been less casual with that. Okay, but great question. Thank you very much. Okay, so before we put up the next poll, let me jump to this next topic here: worst adaptations. So we talked best, what did you think just fell flat for you when it came to actually adapting it on screen from the books? Anyone want to jump in first? Todd, go for it.
Trollocs.
Trollocs? Really?
Oh my God!
Are you serious?
Yes, not a fan.
Go for it.
I was just not a fan.
Okay.
To me, they just didn't. They move like superheroes, and they don't look. There was just this scene in episode 1 that just when they were at the ferry at Terran Ferry, and I've watched it a couple times, and it just drives me crazy. There's one right in the front, and he's doing this cat row thing, and it if you watch it, just oh my God, it just drives me crazy.
That is not one that I even expected. So okay. So Trollocs is on the list there. I'm seeing like some people really skeptical of this one that you've chosen in chat, but not. We'll see what they go. For you, Mary, was there like a worst, like it fell flat for you as far as adapting something from the books to the screen?
I was hoping for more for Perrin, because Marcus is a great actor and I like his work, and I think he did well with what he had, but he didn't have much to work with. It just, I've watched each episode multiple times, and I was waiting for more and I didn't see it, and I guess that disappointed me.
Gotcha. So Perrin's his plot line from his plot, like actual adapting it there. Okay.
Yeah, and then the scene in the tent with Aemon Valda and Egwene, and it was such an epic moment of badassery for Egwene to stab Aemon Valda and take the rings, and that was great. But that was supposed to be Perrin's epic moment that set up future plot lines, and I don't know how that's going to play out, and I don't know where Perrin's going to go. It feels like he's. They haven't had a chance to develop him yet, so I'm hoping we'll see more, and I'm positive we'll see more in the future seasons.
I won't say who asked me, but somebody who watches with me asked if he was going to drool on himself at some point, because he's just not. I just don't think that. I mean, Marcus Rutherford is fantastic, but they haven't done enough with Perrin. People think he's kind of big and dumb and just not there, and so
Giving him nothing to do.
Right.
Yeah, and yes, he killed his wife, and I'm still in the fridge camp on that, and the actress who played Lila was great, and her Twitter account is fun, and
Helena's hilarious. If you're not following Helena, you need to.
Yeah.
So for you, Natalia, what do you think? So we have Trollocs and Perrin's plot.
For me, it would be set pieces.
Okay.
rather than moments.
Set pieces. You're talking just
Like the ways was not
Okay.
good, yo.
Okay. So you
The
think
ways
Trollocs-
was real bad.
Okay, so set pieces, Trollocs, Perrin's plot.
I also it's a s- I'm trying to no, it's a nitpick, but I really don't like how Eamon Valda reacted to Perrin.
Oh, that's a yeah. We can get into that in like episode 2 breakdown frame by frame.
Okay.
Okay, so we have Trollocs, Perrin's plot, set pieces, and I'm gonna say I want to say the loose metaphysics because I like the metaphysics so far.
Because
It's
you're a
too loose.
nerd. That's
It's too
why.
loose for me. I want more rules. Again, the Eye of the World. That's how the book is, and I don't like that about the book either. Although it's fun. So, well, of these 4, I'm sure I need to go back and look at chat. There's probably like many different. Of these 4, I'm kind of curious what people are going to say of these. Trollocs, I think you're gonna never's gonna win this one. You're definitely on the losing side of that question, Todd. So yeah, I'm kind of curious of these 4. Okay, let me. I have Taylor now. So Taylor, come over here.
What? I didn't know it was coming on.
Come on to the show. Okay, so you
I
got.
had chocolate on my face. I was eating
I don't know.
M&Ms.
So you got asked your question here in chat. They wanted to know what your overall rating was for the season 1. So we've gone through our
Oh,
ratings.
really?
Yes. Season 1, Taylor.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Speak up so people in chat can hear you. Or people out there.
I mean, I'm talking directly
Yeah.
in the same.
There you go. You're right.
Yeah.
Dad.
Dad.
I would have prepped. I haven't thought about it all
Wow.
because we haven't been on, and so I haven't like.
You're on the hot seat, like Nerdy Gun said. So
I'm on the hot seat.
yeah.
People
People are expecting a lot from me right now in this moment. You're breaking hearts. Just like you did on Twitter today.
Come on, man.
Make me cry.
Make a
on
choice.
Twitter.
Did you like it, Tay?
Yes. No. I loved the show. I thought it was great. The ending was difficult. For me. Sorry.
Overall, season 1.
Well, you're looking at it from you're a filmmaker. That's what you want to, what
Kind
you
of.
started to do. So did you
yes.
see anything from that side? Or from that perspective that was like, oh, that was cool, or oh, that's an interesting choice, or
I mean, yes, from that side, definitely. I saw a lot of things, but from a pure, just like enjoyment perspective,
Dude, you're
listen, I don't know. You asked me a huge
don't wanna
question
commit.
going over the
You
8
don't wanna
episodes of the
commit.
first season of
I
a
get it.
14
I get
long
it.
book fantasy fiction series that everyone has annoying like opinions
all
about.
these people are relying on
If
your...
I say one wrong thing, it's like
I know. People want to know.
I gotta be careful, you know. So
People
I'm
wanna-
making
People
sure
want
we're
to know
staying.
what you have to say.
I gotta be careful what I'm saying because if I say like I like the ending, then like everyone freaks out.
Oh, you have to be careful. Just
be
give your-
bold.
I liked a lot about the ending.
I would
season,
say-
not the ending. This is the season.
Yeah, well, the ending is important with the season. I would give everything a 7.
A 7?
I'd give the whole season altogether a 7.
Okay.
I'd give episode 7 like a 9.
Yeah.
So
Episode 7 is
Yeah.
yeah. So okay, there you go.
everything
Everyone-
else I think sat around that 7 to 8 like general scale. And I
I
think
think you gave episode 1 a 6. I want to say.
well, yeah. I think there was a couple that were like a 3 is definitely like a negative. Just kidding.
3.
Yeah, because that's what you like. So I was playing
3 is
around.
amazing. Okay.
No, I think 7 is definitely like the highest, and then the rest are around that 6 to 8 area. So overall, I'd say probably 7.
There you go.
So yeah,
There was Taylor's ranking, everybody.
I feel like I was pressured into that, and I could have had some more time to actually go through it, but whatever, it's fine.
You'll
you were
fix it
definitely
in
pressured.
editing. It'll be
What's
fine.
going to happen is everyone here is going to be like, he got pressured. He doesn't want to tell us his real rating. That's what they're all going to say.
I know, yeah, that's what's gonna happen. I would say it leans more towards 8 than 6.
Really?
But, yeah.
Okay, people are going to be surprised.
Because I'm excited to see what happens, and I think that with COVID and everything, the final episode wasn't probably what they wanted, and so
yeah,
I'm going off the assumption that maybe that's it. So I'm excited to see what season 2 will bring, and like maybe it'll be perfect, and then
Okay,
it'll be great.
Awesome. There you go. There was your rating, everybody out there. I know people have been asking me that. Like
The magic system was undermined. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand a lot about that. So
cool.
I feel like you brought me in here for my opinion.
Yeah. Now get out of here.
Okay,
Yep.
this is great.
You can go now.
For now.
Okay.
We'll ask you
Thanks
further
everyone
questions
for
later.
having me. This is a fantastic
They
time.
all want a Dusty Wheel cut. We'll work on that.
Dusty.
Hey, for those of you that are on social media following us, hey Taylor, you want to do that one for me? For those of you that are actually out there watching this on Twitter, on Facebook, on Twitch, this was your sneak peek into our review. We got another hour and a half to go talking about season 1. Kind of curious what your reactions are. Come join us on YouTube over here. 500 even voted on worst adaptation moments. Perrin's plot, and then loose metaphysics. Everything else, Trollocs got 2%, set pieces got 4%. So Natalia, Todd, you guys are crazy.
So I won.
Perrin's plot and loose metaphysics both kind of, we're ranked up there among fans here. So thank you everyone who voted in that poll. Taylor, thank you very much. And like I said, if you're on social media, come join us on YouTube, and we'll continue from there. Okay, so let me jump into this question for you all. I want to know how you rate when it comes to kind of like favorite scene that you had in all the episodes. Give me kind of favorite scenes. You can pick 2 if you want. But I'm seeing kind of some thoughts of this. Mary, do you have a favorite scene in mind?
I have a lot, but the ones that kind of jump up to my mind are going to be very different from probably because I like little things. I liked seeing the Kisane in season 8. It's just completely random, but I loved it. It was there. But one of my favorites is the first episode, the women of the 2 rivers fighting back, and Days Kongar, and just attacking the Trollocs with the pitchforks and taking them down. I loved that, really did.
Yeah.
Another one that just was made me laugh, broke the tension perfectly, was the scene in episode 3 in Shadar Logoth when Lan is telling the story, and then Matt's reaction to that was just so. It was great. It was like perfect Matt, and it broke the tension of the mood, which let what happened later, kind of come up and hit you upside the face. And I have more, but I'll stick to 2 for now.
Okay, well, yeah, we can start those 2. Yeah, I'm kind of curious what people in chat think of what your favorite moments so far of the show, just overall. Tam's talk with Rand. I'm seeing all Nynaeve stuff. Steppin' and Korean conversation in the tent. Blood Snow and Lan translating Old Tongue for Nynaeve in episode 4 from Winter's Lady. Swan Sanche ordering Moraine to kiss the marble. Roger. Nice. What do you think, Natalia? Favorite scenes so far? I mean, we have 8 hours of this. What's really kind of hit you?
That's a hard question, Matt. I mean, I feel like I partly answered that with our favorite moments for this series. So I'm gonna go to the lovely chat that the warders were having around the floor when Steppen is contemplating what it would be like to join Alana's warders, and it just felt so lovely and beautiful and normalizing, and it really made my heart happy in a way that I hadn't expected this show to sort of make me feel for a character I had no feelings or knowledge about.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask everybody that. Was the warder chat? I think that one came. That is one of my favorite parts.
The one around the fire, or the one that was just Steppen and Lan?
The one around the fire, I thought was one you said, right, Natalia?
I think it's the one around the fire.
Yeah.
Because Nynaeve's there.
Yeah, Nynaeve's there, and just humanizing the warders and making us. They're not just walking swordsmen. That you point and they go kill. That's boring. Just seeing them to be actual people and their choices was, like you said, it was great.
That they all had their own little sad, like, origin story.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, you had I had Taylor Napier on for an interview, and he even gave me more details about his character's origin. It was awesome. I was like, the more we can know about these characters, the better, right? The bits said, "I see you" for me too. So creepy. Yes, there's so many of these. This one from Reese Logain and the King of Galdon, that cold open moment, I'm assuming. Todd, what was some of the favorite scenes for you?
I mean, obviously, Blood Snow was absolutely fantastic.
Well, yeah, right.
But I also, and I just blanked on her name, Ryan's wife,
Isla.
Isla.
Yep.
Yeah.
When she's talking to Perrin about revenge, the
yes.
lady who plays her, she was in Downton Abbey.
Maria Kennedy
Yes,
Doyle.
fantastic. That scene right there just gave me the chills when she was talking to her about that. I loved it.
Yep. Yeah, Mike Healy also threw up Blood Snow and Super Saiyan Nynaeve moment. Moraine. Oh yeah, this one's good. Wild Gardenia, the Moraine sipping tea. Like that Moraine point of view. If those of you that don't know, like I think Rafe mentioned this. I think that was meant to be a point of view. I think it was episode 6 was meant to be all from Moraine's point of view. And so you get a very Moraine intense episode there, which I actually really like. Going back and knowing that, I like it even more. But I that's one of my favorite episodes so far this season. So, and yeah, Samantha's with you here on the Tinkers. Perrin talking with Tinkers was really beautiful. Absolutely. There's so many like
The Tinkers were adapted very well. They showed on screen so much more realistically. You could. It wasn't just random pacifism. It wasn't just I'm not going to fight you, and you got to see the depth. And I'm not saying that the depth wasn't there in the books. It was. You just had to dig for it.
Yeah.
And so it showed up on screen just remarkably well.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that. When this 400 of you voted on this, was the water chat around the fire one of your favorite scenes? 66% said yes, 34% said no. So it did seem to kind of resonate, at least with people here. Austin Moore said the music was phenomenal as well. I'm kind of curious about that. How did you feel? How did you receive the music, Natalia? I love it, but I know I've also seen fans not as fond of it. So you seem like, yeah, you're liking it?
100. I'm telling you, like I come back to, they spent good money on this show, and you can tell the music was perfect. It wasn't intrusive. It wasn't manipulative. It was a real beautiful sort of support and backbone to the show, I thought.
Yeah.
I almost have to. I have to really think about it to even remember the music, because, like Natalia said, it was in the background. It was, yeah. I liked it.
Mary, are you a fan? Do you think that for me it was really distinct? Like I watched Witcher afterwards. I watched some other shows, and it just feels like not your typical fantasy kind of music.
No, it's not Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
it's not Game of Thrones. It's not Lord of the Rings. It's its own thing, and it's different, and it's got an element of discordance to it. And maybe that's just because of what you're used to hearing. I love hearing the influences from all over the world, and it's almost like a little microcosm of what the Wheel of Time world is. It's it's a little post-apocalyptic blend of everything.
Yeah, I'm looking at some comments here. Land's theme is probably my favorite piece of music. Nynaeve's theme song when she channels. Yeah, people are saying it's unique. Music is informative. I literally play all 4 albums every day. Lauren Balfe is amazingly talented, Demolition Devon said. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of love for the music in the chat here. Listen to the music while working from Cassandra. Bought everything they put out, Superfly. I like the music fit better. I think the music fit better in episodes 6 through 8, Samantha said. So yeah, and so far 90% have answered. About 400 people, closer to 400 as we go here. Fan of the soundtrack, 90% have said yes here. Going back to some of the comments here. By the way, this is a live call and talk show. We will get to calls. We'll open the call lines up here in about 20 minutes. So you can ask these wonderful 3 people their thoughts on your theories, questions, concerns you've had so far. So again, I already see one person in line. And to the person out there that asked me last time to put the phone number in the description of the video, I forgot. so I will try to remember next time to do that. So I'm sorry, because obviously there's a benefit if you already know the number to start queuing early if you want to get a question in. I get it. So let me show some comments here, and I want to get your thoughts on this. Dial E for Eggs said, my least favorite part of the show is how it feels like they threw Loyal into the background until he gets murdered. So, okay, let's talk about this. Let's step back from the murder side. I was kind of there. I was like, actually, when I watched it, we did a live reaction with Brandon, and I was like, there's no way they killed him. You just don't kill Loyal, except the three of you did. You were the first to kill Loyal. That
was me.
First.
I'll own that. I said we should. Loyal should
thought
be
it was
cut.
me, Mary.
Malkier. It could have been you, but it was not Todd. Todd was getting on our case about it. But
We were joint murderers.
yes.
Yes. So if you have anyone to blame, the first killers of Loyal are here right now on the show. So the fans reacted basically to this like they reacted to us. I think I even said to the camera at one point, like, don't try to kill Loyal. People will be pissed off at you. By the way, Rafe answered that. I don't know why he answered it, honestly, because to me that you leave that as a cliffhanger till the next season because it's more fun, or until like Hamed Animashan posts a picture or somebody does something on social media so you know they're part of the filming of it. But Rafe answered the question, which, Rafe, if you're out there, watch and find out is your friend, man. I said this to Brandon, and I'll say this to you. Read and find out and watch and find out. That's the goal between season 1 and season 2. Let's not answer any more questions.
20-year-old Matt is screaming at you right now.
Yes, 20-year-old Matt is, and also 40-something-year-old Matt is also doing it. I remember saying it was so rude to Brandon, but I was like, I think I said it more rudely to Brandon. I said, you need to shut up about this more often, because he was like answering questions, and I was like, no. Wheel of Time fans, they don't get answers. They get read and find out, and an answer every once in a while. That's what happens. Are you a fan of the soundtrack? Almost 500 of you voted on this one. 88% are fans of the soundtrack. So let me see. I'm going to ask everybody this question about Watch and Find Out. Do you want answers or watch and find out? Answers, and we'll put watch and find out. We'll see how everybody else feels about this. I like the mystery. So,
can I say something about Loyal?
Yeah, go for it. Oh, by the way, let me answer this first. Rafe did say that Loyal is not dead. So dial E for Eggs. If you're still here, Rafe said Loyal.
He's resting.
So apparently
he's pining for the setting.
This brings up the whole but he got stabbed with the dagger from Shadow Logoth, and then that gets all of fans up in arms of what does that mean? So yeah.
I think we need to really take into consideration that a lot of season 1 is set up, right? So it's not going to be satisfying. It is not going to feel good or
there's no warmth in
complete. No, because we're waiting for the payoff. We don't get the payoff yet.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, exactly. No payoff, no answers, no more answers out there. Todd, what were you going to say about Loyal?
When I first was listening to Loyal, I was like, come on, dude, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. And then it hit me that that's the way all of them are with Loyal, because Moraine's like, we don't have time to stand here. I need an answer now, Yeah. And so when I realized that, I was like, okay, I got you, and I'm good with it.
Yes. Yeah. Hopefully Loyal seems like universally to have been accepted into the new fandom. The same way people love Loyal.
Yeah. So was it when Perrin said, if he's asking for patience, we're all going to die? Did anybody feel like that was probably Matt's line, but they had to change it up because it was just they had to have somebody else say it because it's just such a great line?
Yeah, well, no, because they were in the ways, and they were basically we're all dead if that's what's happening here. Andrew, thank you very much. Andrew threw us out there, arrived late, just got here. Just want to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and thank you for all you do. No, thank you everybody for showing up for this stuff. Taylor and I really appreciate this. We're starting into season 2. This is it, guys. We get to talk about this stuff between season 1 and season 2 now. How exciting is that? Let me jump to this next comment here. Rant, thank you very much, said, I can't believe it's over. Much love to you. Much love to Rafe and the showrunners. My mind is exploding from theories and speculation. I need season 2. We're so lucky. I'm wondering if Rant would have answered this question right now. Watch and find out, or answers, And then there's this criticism from the prof. He said, show seems to ignore lore. It hasn't explained explicitly. Shadow Logoth dagger won't kill instantly anymore. Nynaeve easily enters circles and healing. So I want to ask about that. The loose metaphysics concept. Jordan did have a harder magic system. with a lot of rules in it. I'm seeing kind of like the head shake here. Mary, has that kind of loose beginning to some of these things? As a book fan, you know the rules already. Has it made sense to your husband? Has he said anything?
Not at all.
Not at all?
No, not at all.
Did he
And
expect it to make sense to him? Does he have questions and is he waiting for it to make sense, or is the confusion kind of driving him to be less interested?
a little both.
Okay.
A little of both, yeah. And I guess it's like the Eye of the World, and that the magic system wasn't set in stone yet because it was at the beginning parts of it. But and we're looking at this with all of the lore at our backs. But yeah, I think some of the changes they made to how the one power works make sense because it's a visual medium. But some of them, they were done just for dramatic effect, and it didn't. It's more annoying than amusing.
Yeah, and to you, Todd, do you feel the same way? Do you think the loose metaphysics makes sense this early on, as far as just you can't explain everything, or do you think that is going to be something we'll see kind of moving forward, that they're not going to have maybe as hard of rules, if you will, around this as the books do?
I hope that they, like when they all went into the circle. Number one, they went in the circle really easy, and number two, the shakes that they all had. That's not. It didn't look right to me. It was just wrong because even though when they're all working together like that, it's not like one of them is so built up on the power that it shakes all of them. Like they had the twitches or something. It was just weird. I didn't.
So I saw this theory. Do you think that is done incorrectly? Or do you think that there's something about how this person put them in, like, in other words, that the link was bad versus that it was not shown properly? People are talking about how we have kind of TV show canon here. So Natalia, yeah, you're shaking your head, but I'm not sure where your thought is.
So many things. Okay, one, the dagger absolutely kills you instantly if you are so much as scratched with it. So I only have to assume he was not stabbed with the dagger, and or somebody in chat a way back said he had a book in his pocket, and that's my new theory.
Oh yeah. Okay, hold on. I gotta ask everybody if they like the book and pocket theory. So almost 500 you voted on this one. Do you want answers or watch and find out? Oh my gosh, there's 34% of you are nonsensical. Answers. What? No. What is going on? No. Well, there we go. Rafe is appealing to 34% of you with his answers, but no, 64% of you are correct that watch and find out is the right answer there. So let me ask everybody, do you like book and pocket theory? Book in pocket Loyal theory. How many?
So I mean, yes, Loyal is still alive. I don't think it was the dagger. I just don't see how he would have gotten it. But like that aside, the circle drove me up the wall bananas. Why would you give, what was her name? Was it supposed to be a Suki?
It was Amalisa.
It was Amalisa,
yeah,
except
Amalisa.
She never got trained, or she wasn't strong enough.
Trained.
In the show, yeah.
Sorry, she was trained, but she wasn't strong enough to become a real sister.
Mm-hmm. Is that what they said? Okay.
Yeah. So she's not leading a circle.
So this is the question: is they're setting that up as though the circle is less, is more loose, and I guess that's my point, right? Yeah. Some of this is more kind of loose canon, and I love. By the way, this one doesn't bother me on the metaphysics side because I don't really care about linking, as in it's just whatever. Other parts of the metaphysics bother me, but this one it does not. But it is interesting, right? Because now we're going to be able to kind of parse all of these episodes moving forward and break each one of these things down. I don't want to get too lost in linking for the next like hour. We'll have a show, everybody. We'll talk linking if it really bothers you.
It does.
No,
it does.
It bothered me enough that I was like, "This is taking too long. Can we move on?" Like,
yes, right, exactly.
This hurts.
So Brother Tarwin's Gap said, "We all know Mary likes the dead to stay dead. She wasn't dead, Mary. Tiny little spark left. Taishar, dusty wheel." That's right. There's no. There actually. I can't remember if that's one of the things he did answer, but yeah, we did not see like anyone come back from the dead there. That's my belief there.
With Nynaeve.
Whatever.
Nynaeve and Egwene, yeah.
Yeah.
What about Ingtar?
With who?
Go ahead.
That wasn't
Mary.
Ingtar. They renamed the character because the actor had moved on to a different project. So they named him. Lord Yakuta.
Yeah, there's.
Don't quote me
yeah,
on that. I'd have to go back.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Was
so
Uno crapped out there too? Because I swear Uno was there.
Uno was there. He's dead though.
Yeah, damn it.
That's no bueno.
No.
Yeah.
Necesitamos uno.
Also, do we think that the women who let Fane in with that ridiculous passphrase were dark friends?
No.
Or that he used a secret password?
He used a secret password, and they questioned him on it, and they did not get their answers. Well, they kind of did, but
they will not get any more answers.
They got an answer.
Yes.
Oh, I love that they gave us a little. I wanted so much more there, of course. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Can we talk Thane, or is that later?
No, so we can absolutely talk Thane, but I want to talk theories and Thane at as we get a little bit later. We have people that are waiting to kind of jump in and chat with us. But let me ask you this one: have you spoken? I mean, Mary, you said you had obviously kind of watched this with new readers. I want to get some new reader reactions that you've all had. For you, Natalia, have you had friends or family that are not readers of the books that have watched it?
Apparently, my mother texted me after episode 2 and told me she had watched all of it.
Yeah. So what's her thoughts?
And I was like, oh, all of it. There's only 2. That's so cute.
Has she enjoyed it or no? She kept on watching?
She's enjoyed it. She's very much watching it out of love for me,
Okay.
which is nice. But I think both my parents are at least watching it. It's intriguing. They're into it. Like, I love it, so I don't really care what other people think.
Right. Okay. For you, Todd, I mean, obviously you have family watching it. What's been the reaction of those that haven't read the books?
They've liked it. It was funny because episode 8, I was kind of like, and my wife and my son were both like, wow, that was fantastic. That's exactly what we've been looking for this whole thing. And I was like, oh, okay, if that's sure. Because I just, I thought they were going to be like, that was bad. And I thought it was, and they thought it was fantastic. So,
Yeah, I have a cousin and her husband. They've been watching. I think I just put this out on Twitter. They did not know anything about the Dusty Wheel or anything. They're like, "What's your YouTube channel?" I was like, "Oh, it's the Dusty Wheel." And they, she had heard from a coworker that had said, "I think you really like the show." They started watching it. They said they've at least watched every episode 3 times. They have like theory discussions and talk about why they think there's something going on one way. And then I said, this is season 2. She's like, it's over. It's and they love it. And they had so many questions just about the Aes Sedai and warders and all sorts of stuff like that. They loved it. They loved it. So, Mary, what's been your experience so far as people that that have watched that are just kind of new readers to it?
Like I said, I've been watching it with my husband. He's a non-reader, and he's also not into the fantasy genre, and he understands that. He's not liking it. He watched the first 3 episodes because I made him. And then he watched the 4th episode. He liked the 4th episode. He really liked it. He's like, that got me to watch the rest. And I think we still have to watch episode 8 together because I wasn't going to wait. But he's not feeling it. But he didn't like Lord of the Rings. He didn't like The Witcher. He watched Vikings. But he's more sci-fi. That's his jam. So it's and that's important. This is not for everybody, which is fine.
Oh yeah.
But the show is for a broader audience than the readership, and everybody's going to look at it differently and get something different out of it, which, if you think about it, is pretty cool.
I mean, listen, the backslicing.
Oh, the torture
turned off a lot of people in my life.
Really? Okay, yeah. It was too dark.
The what?
Yeah.
The backslicing. Yeah. Gotcha.
The torture.
Gotcha.
Okay, let me ask that. I want to ask people that. Almost 500 people voted. Do you like the book and pocket loyal theory? 65% said yes. 35% said no. So there you go. I am curious, kind of from a rating perspective. So far, we've seen the first 8 episodes. Gore, too much, right amount, not enough. And
we had the backslicing. We had the Trolloc eating its own. We had lots of blood going all over the place. Everybody's the directors seem to like, impaling as their method of killing things. Through the chest, through the neck, through the mouth.
The neck one, the Dana one is
the Dana good. One was pretty good.
Like
that is, yeah. But
it was it was evocative. You read so many times of like seeing a knife bloom in somebody's throat.
Yeah. And just to actually see it was like,
oh,
the burning at the stake after cutting her hands off.
Yeah.
I would call this not bloody, but it was still disturbing, was the forced bath on Egwene by the White Cloaks.
I did not care for that.
No,
it was done really well, but it was really disturbing.
Yeah.
What about when
Natalia's look in her face was the look I had? I was just like, nope. Yeah. So go ahead, Todd.
When he ate the little bird, and it was
yeah.
running out of his
Todd,
the
that
bird
made me
with the
think
blood.
of you.
Yes. By the way, I'm reading some comments here. Diametrica said, my 7-year-old has tons of questions. My husband, that was cool. Uno's iPad said, my colleague called me after every episode with a million questions and theories. And Dale just said this, it does seem like big chunks of episode 8 were crafted more for non-readers. I'm seeing, sorry, I missed a couple comments there, but not everybody, not everyone has family members that are loving it necessarily, but I am seeing almost 500 people voted on the gore and horror in the TV show already, and Right Amount's winning this at 77%. So at least from fans here, think that that the gore and the horror elements are kind of right on target. But that, I would not be surprised if some people are kind of stepping away because it's too much. My wife, I can tell those parts, she's just like, this is not why I'm here. I get it. So I do want to check on our callers here. We'll get our first caller in here in just a second. I want to cover a couple more comments. There have been a bunch that have come in. Zeus said, for me, I think the set pieces were great, but in some cases small. We need more time with them. Shadow Logoth ways. Tell Taylor thanks for the cry on Twitter. Yes. If you know what that is, I'm not going to read it to you because I'm not going to cry. But you can go check out Taylor's tweet. He was very nice in something he told his dad, whoever his dad is. No, I'm just kidding. So he said something nice about me. I'm not going to read it here. That's not going to happen. But you can go read that. Almost 500 of you voted on this, and 78%. And that poll right there. And I think the gore has worked out. So needs to be more sword fighting in season 2. Mike Healy just said. Yes, I definitely want some more of that myself. Let me see if I can get to a couple more comments. We'll get our first caller in here. We'll break down some theories, everybody. Thanks for your patience. Hopefully you're enjoying kind of the chat that we're doing here. It's so nice to have you three back. It's so good.
Yep. It's good to be back.
I agree.
So we have to talk about like our own adaptations we did. Jay Kaner said Maria Doyle Kennedy was fantastic. Theory she'll be Mogedian.
They're bringing her back?
The actress?
The actress will end up coming back as Mogedian. Can you imagine if they did that? That would be interesting. Do you think that we're going to get an actor that? Do you think that an actor we've seen so far will become one of the Forsaken in the future?
Not in the names part. I think their budget's too big for that.
Yeah.
Okay. I will ask everybody that question here in chat. Have we seen a Forsaken other than Ishamael? Kind of see if people think that we actually have.
Gwendolyn Sedai. My goodness.
Gwendolyn Sedai? Or is there a comment or something? Okay, so let me bring our first caller into the show here and see what they have to say. Hey, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
Hi, this is Samantha.
Samantha, how you doing?
I'm doing okay.
So, what are your thoughts? Yeah, go for it.
I've got 3 main points, really quick. One about Perrin, another about relationships, and another about tone. Okay. I'm very anti-fridging. I was still kind of upset. I've kind of tried to step back with the whole situation. Sure. But my concern going forward is when Perrin goes back to the 2 rivers, Now I think it'll feel a bit like a double beat because we have no connection to any family he's lost. So are they going to, tell us that Trollocs killed his family, and it's going to be like, oh, what family? What parent had family? I think it's going to be a bit muddled there.
Okay. Yeah.
And then relationships, I love Rand and Egwene together, but I have no idea how they're going to break up now. I feel like they've just been together too long at this point.
It does make it a sadder breakup. I have heard that from people. Like the relationships are pretty strong. That the breakup will actually, in my opinion, be more meaningful. I think it's like
it will.
Real breakup.
I can't. I can't think of how they're going to motivate it, other than unless it's going to be more aligned with in the books, whereas Egwene basically says, well, he can channel, so there's no chance of us being together. I always thought that made her sound really vapid in comparison to the other girls, but maybe that's just me.
So I want to throw this out to you. A thumbs up or thumbs down from the panel. Do you like the relationship building they've done between Rand and Egwene? We don't have time to dig into, but yes, thumbs up. Yeah, I'm seeing a thumbs up. I'm seeing yes. Mary, do you like the relationship so far, Rand and Egwene?
Yes and no.
You can.
Sure, you can.
Sure, you're gonna have it. You're gonna have it both ways there.
More yes than no, but yeah.
Okay.
But I agree with you. Yeah, I don't know I don't know how they're going to do it. It's going to be ugly, which I guess makes good TV.
Yeah.
And another thing I've been.
Yeah. What was your
Sorry,
last?
Sam.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Another thing I was thinking about is sort of Lan and Nynaeve. They have to put that tension back into their relationship, or else there's going to be no payoff toward the end. I don't necessarily feel like they gave us too much too early, but I mean, I feel like there has to be that tension where they can't be together. That's beyond now just, oh, he's with Moraine. And one of the things I was thinking of is that, what is she going to say when he doesn't come back with Rand like he promised?
Sure. Yeah. The loss of.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I like it. Samantha, what was your favorite episode through the whole season?
My favorite episode was probably still 4.
Still 4? Okay.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And I have to ask you before I let you go, do you have a theory moving into season 2 that you're kind of holding on to or developing in your head?
I guess that theory is that Lan and Nynaeve are going to be sort of on the rocks, and that we're going to skip Kyrian, I hope. Or not, we're not going to skip Kyrian, because we know they've cast actors, but hopefully it's not going to take too long. We just have to condense, most of book 2, really.
Gotcha. So your theory is like Lan and Nynaeve, they are ending on a good note, but now this new note for the next season was going to be that there's going to be some problems in that relationship now moving forward.
Yep.
I like it. Hey, thank you very much, Samantha. Appreciate you calling in. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
No problem.
Yep, bye-bye. I want to. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Todd.
I was just going to. Can we talk about Perrin for a second and how he is?
Well, I just want to say this about her relationship. The thing that Samantha brought up about Rand and Egwene, that was one of the surprises to me. I want to ask everybody how they feel about that. By the way, have we seen a Forsaken? About 450 of you voted. 72% of you say no. We haven't seen anyone other than Nashamael. So I guess that's not maybe too much of a surprise there. But those of you that, like me, are holding out hope that they've done some kind of fun, they've hidden somebody from us, I like that. Do you like the way Rand and Egwene's relationship has been built? But yeah, go ahead, Todd. You want to say something about Perrin?
I think Perrin in the show is much more broken than he was in the books. He's totally and completely broken in the show, and it's kind of in a weird way makes me like him more in the show than I did in the books, just because I can see the pain that he's going through.
Yes, I actually do like that. I think I said this during the live watch party we did. Was I like that he ends on this very conflicted note of seeing what Fane's doing and not knowing how to respond in that moment. He picks up the axe, and it kind of gives you that feel like the conflict that he had, but he's going to overcome that conflict in the sense of in his head, he's like, I have to pick up the axe because this can't happen again. But that's the conflict that's going to play in his head of like, but did you really have to? And so I actually like that how they ended on. I feel like the mid kind of pairing we lost a bit, which I didn't like as much. So.
And that Fane in that scene was fantastic. I can't wait to see more of him. He's going to be, I think he's going to be really good. Did you not like him, Tal?
I struggled with the tone. I just like he wasn't the Fane he was supposed to be at that point. He was the Fane of like he was the slippery.
He wasn't manic.
Yeah, he wasn't dirty and a beggar and desperate.
Yes, but he
But
was
he was
still
great.
all sorts of people that same way.
100%. He was awesome.
By the way, I think Rant said I think Matt was originally the one to be stabbed. Yeah, there's some question of if Matt had actually come with them, what role did he play? Some people thought that maybe he would have played the role that Perrin did in that scene. I've seen that theory, that Matt was actually meant to be the one with Fane in that moment.
Can we just say right
the
now,
horn, if you will.
can we just say right now that Matt and I were right about Barney not blowing?
Oh,
Wow. Yes.
I mean,
So I guess-
when you're right, you're right. I'm taking it as a win.
Hold on.
do we have to
actually take credit
lose
for
"Let
that.
Barney Blow" as a hashtag? I guess we do. Oh, now I'm sad.
I know. I feel that. Let's ask this question from this fan. I'm sure people in chat will tell us answer that. What would you have them do sparingly and to do more of? So yeah, like if there's something that you could say, do more of this, do less of this. Is there anything that's coming to mind for the three of you? If you were just like we did a live adaptations as though we were in the room making decisions. If you right now had advice to give, what would you say do more of or do less of? Who wants to go first?
More
Natalia?
Aiel.
Oh, more Aiel. Well, of course, more. Yeah, that's a good one. More Aiel. Natalia, do you have one? Yeah,
I
go for it.
want less in their head, up their butt whining.
Oh, that's on point with Book. that is like so Wheel of Time to be whining a lot. So you just want less of that. You actually felt like I didn't feel like there was nearly as much in the book
Sorry,
as there is in the
I'm
books.
saying in the future, I would like to continue to see none of it.
Okay, so stay sparing with the whining.
Keep
Okay.
it sparing.
Keep it sparing. Okay, yeah, I think we're on. Yeah, I'm on. I think it was done pretty sparingly, but it had some in it. So, Mary, is there a kind of do more, do less of that's in your head?
Kind of more intrigue and more battles. I think I can see them combining a lot of book 2 and book 3 into the next season, which works. So you can have the Aiel, you can have the Nynaeve and Elaine and Gwyn hunting the Black Aja. You can have the Black Aja, the intrigue involving that. You can have Tyr. You can have the Shan Chan. We haven't even talked about the Shan Chan yet.
I know.
There's just so much potential for a lot of conflict, and bring it on.
Oh, I have one.
Okay. Oh, you have one? Okay, and then we're going to go through a bunch of these comments here. I can't
And
get
keep
all
the
them on
humor
screen,
before
but
you continue to talk. I was just going to say, keep the humor. I love the little the banter between Rand and Matt. I love the little drops of humor. It just it humanizes everything, and it just makes the show much more fun.
Yeah, the humor has been on point, I think, for how I didn't want it to be like a comedy, but I did want it to be funny, and I think they've done a great job writing that in. What were we going to say, Natalia?
Well, I believe they're friends. I want to keep believing that they're friends.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's good. Okay, this one, almost 500 voted. Do you like the way that Rand and Egwene's relationship has been built? Yeah, 74% say they've liked it. So what's really interesting to me is to, as many of the kind of complaints we have about the show in certain ways or the things we love, when you kind of think about some of the core things, at least for me, where I'm like, relationships were not great in the eye of the world, not done well. It wasn't that believable. To me, relationships have done really well so far in this book. I mean, in this TV series. When you think about like some of the book complaints where it's like, it's Rand's point of view, and that's all the person we really know, basically to the eye of the world. they've really given us like, I feel like I know a lot of these characters much better than I did anywhere near reading the books. So I really appreciate those pieces of the adaptation so far, is like fast forwarding a lot of these things. Like Fane, I wanted the Fane storyline in the books just because I'm a book fan and I enjoy that. But if you speed up Fane, guess what you lose? You got to lose some of that kind of like whiny transition Fane.
That's fair.
It's like I'm a beggar and I'm a lord and whatever, and all of a sudden they just ran with like, no, Fane's actually, they didn't even told us. Fane's somebody that's still kind of a mystery. So
Yeah.
that's to me. But they didn't kind of go down that route, which I think was probably smart for them, as much as I wanted those Fane beats, if you will.
The only reason you know he's a dark friend is because he had a murdrel dig up the horn.
Right. Well, he kind of walks away out of that first episode when the Trollocs are fighting, and he's like, I'm out of here.
But the only reason Perrin knows he's a dark friend.
Oh, yes. Right.
Right.
Okay, so here's some of the comments I didn't get to. Nicholas said, if Elias doesn't show up in season 2, I'll be really disappointed. Most disappointed in the adaptation. Yes. How do you feel about that? Thumbs up, thumbs down. You want Elias still in the show, TV show? Mary, thumbs up? Yes for Elias still? You, Natalia?
I don't think it will, but I can see where they can put him in later, but and serve a different function. But if he's not there, it'll be disappointing, but I don't think it's a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Do you still want to see Elias in the TV show? You know, we're season 1's over. We don't have him. Do you still think he belongs there? Sorry, go ahead. What are you going to say, Natalia?
Just that, how else do we get info on them, on the wolves, right? Like, how do we introduce Perrin to that? But I'm sure there are others, right?
And he could add additional depth to what we've seen of the warders.
Oh,
that's true.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good point.
You know,
Todd,
one of
you're
the
shaking your head. Go ahead.
yeah, I want to see Elias. It's funny. One of the funniest things my son said was, he said, I loved it when Perrin used the wolf power to burn the ropes loose. And I was like, right on. Let's go with it. So
you're like, yeah, I do that all the time. I don't tell people, like, they'll say the wrong stuff. And unless it's like an egregious thing where they should just correct it, I'm like, oh,
yeah,
you know, just let it go. It's like, cool. Think that. That's great. I want to, this one I thought this is a good comment from Watt Fandom, said, if you want to complain, just remember that the last 3 books are technically an adaptation, not written by Robert Jordan. I don't care about any of the complaints. Yeah. Robert, we've already been through this once with Brandon as a fandom, for those of us that were like at the time talking about these books. And a lot of these kind of concerns came up at the time, which was, you know, this is a new writer. We were all in the forums, right? And when this happened, we all know, and maybe we even complained at times. We're like, oh, missed this, doesn't know this, not including this, you know. So it feels like very much a similar situation as that one did.
Before
Before
you do that, when we were talking about Fane, I just want to say the whole speech that Fane gave Perrin, I think, is just 100% bullshit. I think he was just making stuff up. It doesn't make any sense lore wise, and so I think he was just, you know, messing with Perrin's head.
Okay. Do you still want to see Elias in the TV show? About 400 of you voted. 83% still would like to see it. See him come to play, which makes sense. This comment from Samantha: I blame the suits at Amazon and COVID, not Rafe, for most of the really bad choices. Perrin fridging his wife, that was rough. Yes. Obviously, this did come up. If you've watched any of the episodes of Inside the Wheel of Time, it's the official after show that I had the pleasure of hosting. There's 6 episodes. It's really fun. And I've heard from, especially non-readers, like, it's really helpful because we don't do book spoilers basically in it when we're talking about the books. And so it's much more just talking about the TV show. In one of the episodes, I got to interview the VFX supervisor, Julian Perry. He did say that because of COVID, they couldn't bring the Trollocs back out. And so he said at the end of the series, I think the final episodes, they couldn't bring the Trollocs back out. So he's like, that's all CGI. So clearly the pandemic affected choices that they were going to make or wanted to make on this. So there's some truth to that when you think about what we got in the end, if you will. So this is a good question from TGN for the panel. Then we'll get our next caller in. Seeing as books 2 and 3 will be combined next season, what major cuts or changes do you think will happen? Well, all three of you have done a live adaptation. Now you've seen this. I'm kind of curious what people are going to say in chat. Okay, you've all been through season 1. We've been through what have been cuts and changes and how Rafe and his team are doing this. Is there something that you anticipate? I don't need you to rehash all of books 2 and 3. But of books 2 and 3, what do you anticipate is either changed or completely cut out? What's like one thing?
I think they're going to bring the split in the tower sooner.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I think we're going to lose the mirror worlds.
You think we're losing the mirror worlds? Okay. And you two seem way too excited about that.
Sorry, man.
I'm not happy about that. Will the split, how about this, in the tower happen in season 2? For those of you that are here, like I said, these are book spoilers. There are book spoilers here. It's not like huge killer spoilers, if you will, but this question is a spoiler. So if you stuck around, I apologize if you're like, wait, what? So yeah, that's going to be that. I'm kind of curious as far as what people are going to say about this one. But I think it is. Split, just give me your head wave here, because instead of seeing you through the thumbs up, is a split going to happen in season 2 in the tower? Okay, yeah, I believe it will. I believe they're setting it up. Maybe it's a season 3 thing. I can see people are kind of like, seems like it's pretty split in the poll right now. So, okay.
Can you imagine a bottle episode of Swan and Liana and Min and some hunky silver fox playing Gareth Bryan? Like, I'm all up in it.
We've got to get the Matt scene with Gawain and Galad, though. That's got to happen, right?
I don't see it happening. I'm afraid it's not going to. It's not going to.
It'll be different.
We need it. Okay, so, but to the question of things being adapted, changed from books 2 and 3, if you will, coming up here, is there anything else you want to throw out there that you think is going to change? Are we still going to get the Black Aja plot when it comes to the Shan Chan and the Black Aja? Do you still think that is going to make it into season 2
and the 13
changes and cuts?
The 13 sisters that
yeah, and with Leandrin basically trying to take them up and hand them over.
How many Forsaken do we have
so far?
We
Not
think
13.
8. We don't know exactly how many. We don't know how many there's going to be necessarily, but I want to ask. So far, by the way, almost 400 people voted on will the split in the tower happen in season 2. It's really mixed. People are kind of back and forth on this one. Okay, let's bring our next caller. They've been waiting for a while into the show. Hey, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
Great Innkeeper. As always, I raise my glass to you, sir. And
Cheers,
of course,
man.
hi, Shar, to Mary, Tal, and Todd. What's up? We missed you guys.
Norm!
And everyone in chat. What's up?
What's up?
It's great to hear your voice, man. What's going on? What's your thought, comment you wanted to share with us?
Well, here we go.
Okay.
My questions are for all of you. Is one for Mary, Tal, and Todd. Were your fears quelled after you watched season 1? And then, whether they were or not, what new fears or anticipations do you have for season 2? And then for you, Matt, directly, do you think that the powers that be of Amazon will listen to you, since you do have an in now, and Rafe, and well, I know Rafe was, but I mean, do you think that Amazon will listen to us screaming and yelling, saying we want 10 episodes as opposed to 8 in the coming seasons to follow?
Okay, so let's start with your questions for the panelists here. Were your fears quelled? Is that the right word? Fears, and do you have new fears for season 2? And let me start with you, Natalia. I mean, did you have fears going in, and if so, were they realized, or do you feel like they?
No, I was cautiously optimistic going in, and I think I had a really lot of beautiful moments that I'm so grateful to have seen. It's different enough that I was surprised. I loved a lot of it, and I'm really excited for season 2. I'm really hoping that the casting continues to be as bang on as it's been. And they only can go up. Like they started off with such a bang that I'm really excited to see what's next.
Todd, how about you? Fears that you had going in, did you see any of them? Were they realized, or were they quelled, and you have any kind of moving forward?
No, I kind of went in with an open mind too. So I just kind of wanted to see what they were going to do with it. My fear for season 2 is Matt's storyline. I'm worried about where he's going and how he's going to get there, because I know what happens to him in the books, and I know they're not going that way. But there are some of the things that happen in the books that need to happen to him in order for his character to play out like he should. And so I'm worried about that in season 2.
Yes, I think the Matt question, although Rafe did answer this, I haven't seen the actual article. I've just seen people comment on the article. So don't quote me as though this is coming from the article that I have seen. But I thought I saw an answer that he said that Matt's storyline will follow what we see in The Dragon Reborn as far as like going to the White Tower. So it wouldn't surprise me if we get Matt. So he's back in Tar Valon. We see that in the show. Wouldn't surprise me if the Red Aja capture him. They do the Yellows do a full healing on him, and that we get kind of Matt coming back healed completely, and they can kind of pull him back in. And that's where my hope is, that we get Gawain and Galad and the White.
Right.
I'm hopeful that it's like Matt was captured and he's just kind of plugged back into the storyline in that way. That makes the most sense to me. Yeah, Natalia, go ahead.
Sorry, are we sure? I legitimately, okay, what city was he stepping into? What tower was he looking up at?
It was Tar Valon. It was the White Tower.
We're sure about that?
I went and looked at the, I just watched that
Okay,
episode.
just because my working theory was that it was the Tower of Genji and he was going to come out a cheeky rascal.
I thought I went back and just watched that part of the episode, and he looks
with
up
a
and
different face.
Just like the White Tower. That's what I saw. So,
okay.
Yeah, I think to me is
that's better.
So that makes more sense to me.
Yeah, totally.
For you, Mary, before we let Norm go here, as far as this question, do you have any fears that were either realized or that were not, and were you kind of just, did you kind of appreciate that? And then do you have any fears moving forward in season 2?
Yes. Yeah, one of my big ones was I didn't want Perrin to be married, and Perrin was married, and Lila was not his cousin or his sister, was actually his wife. Right, and I, props to the actors, but it didn't do anything for me, and I didn't like it. It wasn't the deal breaker I thought it would be. So that part was surprising to me. And I'm sure I'm not going to break anybody's heart by, saying I disagree with the decisions that they made there. That's fine. I wasn't going into this expecting I was going to like it 100%. I don't even like the books 100%. So
exactly.
I can go on for days about that. But
that's been my favorite part about this whole thing. I'm like, I would read Jordan's books and be like, I love this part, don't like this part, don't like this part, love this part, don't like this part, don't like this part, this part, love this part. This is how the books were too. So I'm not shocked that I don't like some of it. It's just like part of reading the Wheel of Time. You love some of it, you don't. So
I just knew you were going to say Green Man. I just knew it.
Okay, let me end this poll. Almost 500 voted. Will the split in the tower happen in season 2? Almost 500 voted, and 50-50 basically. So fans are undecided. They're like, season 2, season 3 kind of thing. I'm going to ask everybody your question, Norm, and let you go. I will give you my answer on this one. Do you think we will get more than 8 episodes a season in coming seasons? So that allows you to answer, like, maybe not season 2, but if we get another season after that. Norm, no, I don't think that they're going to listen to us fans complaining and wanting more episodes. I just don't think that that's the case, unless they find some compelling data point. Does that make sense? Like, to me, this isn't like the fans want more episodes. Yeah. Like, I don't think that that's going to happen. That's not my, I just don't get the feeling like Amazon's like, let us know how many episodes you would like, and we'll give you that many. Now, I can see them saying, I can see Rafe and their team, if Rafe's making the case like, hey guys, look at fan reactions to this. I wanted to give them this other episode, or we wanted to go a little bit longer to explain some of these things, and we've done polls out there, and people that watch the show think this, they're going to try to substantiate this in some kind of statistical way. I don't think it's going to be just a general concept of like Twitter of time wants something. I don't believe that Amazon is making decisions about episode length and stuff like that based on it. We would like to believe it, but I don't think that's the case. So,
well, we got to keep saying it. We have to show the fan interest. There is fan interest.
Yeah,
that's
no,
what keeps the show going.
I'm not saying that they won't, if it doesn't kind of align up with what their thought process is, and then going and kind of seeing fans say the same thing. So, yeah, when it comes to like, if there's something you didn't like, talking about that and asking for, wanting to be better, you should go out there and chat and say those things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that they're worried about, if this makes sense, if all your criticism is like the show sucks, I don't think Amazon cares about what you have to say. So, but if you see like, I don't like this about the show because of this reason, I think that that's totally valid. Hey, Norm, man, it's awesome to hear from you, man. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Later, Norm.
Take care.
You too.
Bye.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, you too.
Happy New Year.
Okay. There's a lot going on here. I'm going to get that poll in here. There's been so many comments. Let me try to cover some of these comments, throw these questions out to you from fans. So many of you put in. Thank you very much, by the way, for these tips. Really appreciate that. Blue Lou Boyle said, great cast, good cinematography, okay story, bad editing, really disappointing pacing. Overall, 5.5 out of 10. Still hopeful for season 2. So I want to ask you about that. I think season 1 pacing. What are your thoughts here? I hear this a lot. I guess I don't think pacing that much or editing, like those aren't like things in my head that I'm thinking as I'm watching, other than I'm just going like, that was really fast or that was too fast. And I guess that's generally kind of that, but I'm not analyzing pacing other than just a general feel for this. So I want to ask you 3. Was pacing to you for the season too fast? Decent, it was just the right amount? Or do you think pacing was just like, it was like too slow from a storytelling perspective? Todd?
Somebody else go first.
For me, it was too fast.
Okay.
I didn't, and we talked about this earlier, and it seems to me to be more, how can I say this and not make everybody hate me again?
Just say what you're going to say, man.
I think it has more to do with, I know there's a lot of different directors, and I couldn't tell you who directed what and which one did what, but I think that some of the directors pushed harder than the others did. And it felt that way. And especially episodes 2 and 3, 1 a little bit, but 2 and 3 just seemed like it was pushed really, really hard. And like I said, I don't know who directed those. I couldn't tell you at all. And it may be the same one who directed episode 7, which I thought was fantastic. So, I felt like those episodes were really pushed hard.
Yeah. I think like you're saying, I think I'm seeing people are saying in chat, like pacing is kind of like a boogeyman of a definition. No one has like a great definition for it, but, so yeah, the people are saying inconsistent. I think it's so different. That's what's weird for me. It's like some people think it's fast, too slow pacing. I don't know how you'd ever find how do you find the right pacing for everybody? It just seems like an impossible task. Natalia, do you think was pacing an issue?
It was uneven, but at the same time, like they are just learning. Mistakes are how we learn, people. And guess what? They're learning and they are improving. And episode 7 and 8 and 9 show us that. So just wait until they have a more cohesive team. I mean, this is a bunch of people working together under really crazy, difficult circumstances. I can't imagine what a team working together in person for, more than a truncated period of time is going to be able to achieve.
Yeah.
So plus I come back to, this is exposition. This is setup. We don't get payoff yet. Of course the pacing sucks.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's a part of that, like you said, is kind of like the learning what's what's working, how it's working. I would. That's where I think they're going to make a lot of decisions is based off of what the reactions were from fans as a whole. Eric pointed this out, and I'll post this one. A decent point from Eric here. To be fair, Amazon does seem to care a little bit about our options or our opinions. They did make you the official host of the Watt After Show. There you go. Okay, so
Fair point.
Fair point. Yes, I think for some decisions that they make, they're certainly trying to get a pulse on fandom, and they're trying to engage with fandom. So to that point, I think if the general fandom is feeling a certain way about something, a lot of fans are feeling a certain way. I think they are caring about those data points. And so to Natalia, to your point, I think they are going to kind of come back and look at some of these things. What worked, maybe what didn't. How many people finished certain episodes? How many people didn't finish certain episodes? How many people returned and never returned? And why didn't they? And they'll tie those things into certain episodes and how it was paced, if you will, and edited, and maybe tie those. That's how I think they'll make some of the decisions. But Mary, for you, before we move on, any kind of pacing comments?
I would say, as a book reader, I thought it was going too fast. They were missing. I didn't get a chance to, get to know the characters before we moved on to the next thing. And but talking to non-book readers, they felt it was too slow. It's like, why do I care about this? I don't care about this. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
And it wasn't every single non-reader thought that, but it seemed to be the trend that non-book readers thought it was going too slow and the book readers thought it was going too fast and just too rushed. So I guess, splitting the difference, it was at the right pace. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, it's to me, that's one of those kind of like phrases I don't really get, and it's so different for everybody. But that's why I'm kind of curious. 500 of you almost voted on this. Do you think we'll get more than 8 episodes a season? 61% said we will. So there's some hope there. If all of the fans out there that watch the show are asking for more and more content, maybe we'll see that. So let me get through. So that was like a comment. We kind of spent 10 minutes on it. I'm going to bring our next guest in here shortly, but let me get through some of these comments here. Miss Sarah James said, question for the panel, where is Rand going next? What are your opinions or theories? So we'll do theories to end this off, so I don't want to get, we'll come back to that. Let me put that comment down here at the very bottom
The
here.
puppy.
You brought a puppy into the show. So there you go.
Hey, this is how I get back in everybody's good graces.
That's right.
And show them Goose.
Yes.
Hit the like button.
Yes.
Yeah.
While you're here,
like
you
Goose.
see the dog, now hit the like button. Kay Richard said, I don't believe it was a circle. None of the 4 had training. Lady A said, open yourself and use them as batteries, 1 atom and 1 hydrogen bomb. Again, this is one of the things I do want to say, and Rafe's pointed this out, that when they make changes, he said they're aware of them. Whether or not you believe they're aware of them is your choice. But there likely are answers, and I've just advised don't give us answers right now. So I think there are answers to some of these questions that maybe concerns we have, and we're just not being explained those things right now, and that's okay. Shane said, how about the 7 Towers of Malkier and the Innkeeper's triumph? Let's take a moment. Here. The 7 Towers, everybody. Let me ask everybody, did you think I was right about the 7 Towers of Malkier? I just want to know how many. I just want to know how many. So I pointed this thing out in a poster, and I said it looked like the 7 Towers of Malkier, and everyone made fun of the idea. That's right, everybody did. And then they showed us the 7 Towers of Malkier up in the Blight, and I got to be right about something because there wasn't somebody standing next to Loyal. I was wrong about that one. I can accept it. I was not right about that one. So yes, I'm going to do a poll to kind of gloat on that one just for a second, everybody. Prof said, my mother loved it, even the finale. In my opinion, episode 8 suffered from Barney's departure and the COVID restrictions due to not, having vaccines. Hopes up for season 2. Yes. I think that's really definitely, I agree with that. Dana said, Rand and Egwene in their relationship in book 4, or end their relationship in book 4, so this relationship is not rushed. I mean, that's a good point, that their relationship does kind of continue. For those of you waiting online, there are a couple callers waiting here. We'll get them in here shortly. Beth said, great show. I think this iteration of Padan Fane is better because he's more sinister. I almost feel sorry for book Padan Fane at times before he gets rescued from Faldara, but there is no pity for this Fane. Yes, that's a great point.
I do love the Jerry curl.
Samantha said the show needs more humor. These characters are funny. Matt and Nynaeve, especially next season, is going to be heavy with Sean-Chan, and we need some levity. So, yeah, I totally agree with that. Watt Fandom said, where was Steve? So, have you seen Steve yet? That will be an enduring theory going on. Chris said, if we saw a faithful recreation of the prologue for the Eye of the World, would we complain about LTT fridging Ilyena? Ooh, good point.
Would we complain
everybody.
it, or would we about it, or would we call
Yeah,
it
in other
that
words,
later?
isn't
Fridging.
that like that's kind of shows up in the beginning of the prologue? I think the point was being made, like you don't hear people like scream about hating the prologue because of the fridging of his wife. But
Really?
you hear
Because I didn't
I've
like
never.
it.
No, I'm saying I never hear fans complain about that. Never, ever. Like 99% of the time, they're like, "I love the prologue," and I hear fans complaining
hated the
about
prologue.
Really?
I swear, I like, but
You're my
I,
1%, Natalia. You were the
I
Are you
know.
kidding? I never knew this about you.
Okay, so the answer to this question, 300 of you have voted about, did you think I was right about the 7 towers of Malkier? 73% said yes. That's a lie. Oh, wait. They thought I was right because that was a bad poll. My bad. That was a poorly crafted poll. Iris Bear said, I agree. Let's not correct random theories. I totally agree with that. Rant said, my favorite theory for more fuel. Actually, let's move your theory to the end here. And Dresden said, I don't know if I want the Forsaken to be cartoonish like the books or if I want them to be better villains. I can't decide. Okay, that's a great. Let's stop there. Bring our next caller, but I'll ask you three that. Do you want the cartoonish villain like Forsaken, or do you want like a smarter villain like it seems like we got in Ishamael here? Do you want the smarter villains, or do you kind of want some stupid villains? What are you feeling, Natalia?
I don't want stupid villains. That's not appealing to me.
I'm
I
asking
want a
everybody else
villain.
this,
Yeah, no.
I agree.
Stupid villains.
Yeah, I liked Ishamael. I've seen a lot of people who say that they didn't. I've seen that being floated around, but I liked him. I thought he was really good.
It's hot.
So I actually do. I like the smarter villains here, but there's something to be said for a stupid villain every once in a while. But yeah, I think that's a good question here. Let's bring our next caller.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mary.
We can have J.H.M. Carradine show up and trip over his sword and fall into a barrel of brandy. We can do that.
we need at least one of those. Okay, we need because you have to have Pater, right? You have to have the dark friends that suck.
That's what I wanted to see. Damn it! I should have said that earlier.
Okay, let's bring our next caller into the show. Hey, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
Hey, Matt. Hey, guys. It's me, Art.
Art,
Hey, Art.
how you doing, man?
How you guys doing, man?
We're doing excellent. We're an hour and a half into our own discussion of the actual adaptation with the crew that live adapted these books almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
How are you feeling overall? What was your rating for season 1?
Yeah, it took a while to think about it, but I kind of did my math and I broke down every episode. And like I said in chat, I said like there's at least 2 10s in these 8 episodes, so it's impossible for me to go below like a 7. So I gave it like an 8.5 because I thought I was the person that rewatched it over and over, like at least a few times each episode, and tried to congeal my thoughts. And yeah, there wasn't an episode below a 7, so I gave it an 8.5.
What were your 2 10s?
4 and 7.
Yeah, everyone.
They were just it's just for entertainment value, and I watched most of the episodes with my fiance, and he loved like almost everything. And he's a non-book reader, and he's one of those people I had to like pull teeth to try to get him interested in the books, and he just didn't read them. But when it comes to the show, he's just all over it. And hey, Josh, you got there in the chat.
Yeah, it's a lot of people loved those. I liked 3 more than 4, but 4 is definitely that's kind of my 7, 6, 3, 4 range. Those are all kind of my favorite episodes of the show so far. For you, at least, Art, like what was, I guess, from an adaptation standpoint, what's been your favorite adaptation where they've taken from the books and basically given it to you in the show?
Oh, my motivations for this adaptation are, they're not a secret. I am gay, and I like how elegantly LGBT and themes were included. And I didn't see it as fan servicey. I didn't see it as forcing it down everybody's, clocking it. Rape's gay, and these people are. No, it was very elegant, and I just gave a little quiet round of applause every time I saw somebody. It's Maxim and Ivan. They're together. Oh, I should have known. And other things like Moraine and Swan, of course. And it was just elegant to me. I didn't think it was overcooked. I didn't feel it was too forced. And the people who did have a problem with it, they were just kind of like, oh, okay. I mean, and I really appreciated that. So
it was
not
very
the main thing that I liked about the adaptation. It was just something that I really enjoyed and I felt was done with good care.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Sorry, Natalia, what were you going to say?
just it was responsibly done. And I think it was done in a way that really fit with the story. Like it
Yes.
It made perfect sense. There was no reason not to. There was no reason to sort of look at it askance. It was just part of the story, which I loved.
Yeah, the relationship between Moiraine and Siwan is just, brilliant. I loved it. It was,
and when whispering to her.
Yes, and there are people, there are two people who've been working together, and my dog just stole my notes. There, two people who've been working on, this impossible mission for 2 decades and by themselves, and with the fate of the world and the threat of losing everything, the worst thing, being killed or losing their power is not the worst thing that can happen to them. But they still love each other, and they still can be soft to each other and share their concerns and their weaknesses with each other and support each other, and have to take on this additional burden of being apart. And it was just it hit hard.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, this is a message that queer communities have always felt, is that we too are warriors. We are also strong. We're also able to take on adventure and tasks, and it doesn't need to be mentioned that we're gay or queer or anything.
It just is.
Yeah.
Natalia,
I like that. I like that a lot.
Muted, Natalia. Yeah, absolutely. Any final thought, Art, or question or theory you want to leave us with before we let you go?
Yeah, I mean, to piggyback off you guys are intimating, like even taking from Brandon Sanderson's kind of takes about like who's being listened to in terms of not just the plot but just the whole production. I wonder if we're going to have the positive response from non-book readers is actually going to be a curse for us, because there's a lot of us who wanted, like including myself, the last episode I had problems with overall, but I revised it in my head to see, well, okay, they have allowed a lot of opportunities to develop from this base, so let's see what they do. But my main thing was like I really wanted all that mystery, and people had a lot of problems with the end of book 1, like it's confusing, whatever. I didn't. I'm one of the rare people who actually liked all of that kind of wonky metaphysics and magic. It's magic. And I was just like, for a first entry, I like that stuff. I like that Green Man stuff. I like the world building. I like the sacrifice that was made to make the eye itself, how strange it is. Rand he has no idea what his powers are, how they work. So him like flitting about the Blight and chipping in the battle of Faldara and Tarwin's Gap, that it didn't befuddle me. So my end thought is like, are people who are like who think that the story works its magic on its own, are we going to be listened to more because of the success of the series?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I'm going to bring this up, and this is a question I have for my panelists too, as far as what would their piece of advice be as readers of the books. So I think leave us with that question, Art, and we'll see what people have to say in chat. Really appreciate your thoughts here, man, and look forward to chatting with you again.
Thank you. Bye
Okay, see you
bye.
soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, so this is a great question. I actually got asked this question from Yilang Vang. It said, Matt, if you could tell Rafe the top 2 things to improve, what would it be for you? Well, again, all these comments are going to come from a book reader perspective, right? So I do want more of the setups that add some clarity, but that's as a book reader, like the Horn of Valir, for example, right? It just kind of shows up, and maybe I missed it somewhere, but it was like, what's the horn, and why is it even here, and are there prophecies related to it? And like, there is some there's a lack of complexity in certain things that I think Art brought this up, which is you have non-readers that are not necessarily going like, I need to know the complexity of that. Maybe they'll just tell me what this thing is and why I should care about it in the future. And there's certainly a book fan aspect where I'm like, I liked some of, right? These books are like 800 pages long, right? Like I liked some of the detail and some of all the nuances, of these things that it does feel like we're missing, and will continue to miss those things. So do you think, I want to ask the 3 of you, do you think that we are going to continue to that he's going to pull out some of the complexity of the rules and the metaphysics and the prophecies and these things, and that we're just going to get a series that's kind of devoid of some of these things? Or do you think that's just part of the process of storytelling, and some of that will get layered in as we move forward? Natalia, what do you think?
I'm a bad person to ask. I think it'll probably get layered in as we go. They did a lot of it in the cold open of 8. I thought it was too on the nose, telling us exactly how the taint or how the taint came about. But not enough for people like you. So
no, so yeah, like you're saying, there are those things. Yeah, and there again, as book fans, and like as Art was saying, the show's successful. Does it need those things moving forward? And so, yeah, Mary, do you think it needs all the complexity the books provide, or do you think if they layer them in a little here, a little there, that's good enough, and they'll just move forward that way?
There's no way to put all the complexity that the book provides into the series, unless the series is going to be, 20 seasons long, and each season is about 50 episodes. There's just too much. So you have to make choices, which means you're going to have to make some hard choices. And I would like to see, a couple layers of depth. I don't think we're going to get to the same level. I think, and I'm hoping that the Rafe and company have, when Jordan was writing it, he had Maria, he had Alan, keeping things consistent. And I'm hoping, I know that Sarah is providing that service as well. And I hope that they keep that, because that's one of the hallmarks of the books, is it's the foreshadowing, and everything is just so consistent throughout. And I've already seen one mistake, and I don't know if it was a mistake or whatever, but in episode 7, the flashback that Rand has, he's carrying Tam on his back, and he has this scene. But in episode 1, they come in with Bela, with Tam over the horse. That bugs me, but that's just because I'm a nitpicky, I'm a freak. I'm a Theorylander. So I'm hoping, I really want to see that the layers. I want to see the complexity, and I think we're starting to see it, because when you watch the episode and then you go back and you watch it again, you pick up on stuff that you missed, and then you watch it again. So it has that rewatchability, the same way that the books have the readability, and you get more every time you do, and you start to make those connections. So they're off to a good start. There's definitely room for improvement, but they're off to a good start.
I want to end this poll and then get your thoughts here, Todd, and get our next caller, cover some more comments. Do you want some stupid villains? 34% of you are with me. We got to have a couple stupid villains in here, but not all of them. Okay, and I want to ask about prophecy, because I have noted this, and people have mentioned this, just as people start breaking down these episodes, and we'll do this a lot in 2022, is actually go back to each episode and start breaking down scene by scene, and it's going to get ridiculous, I think, for a long time. Prophecy, like, do we need more of it? Because people are saying, like, we've gotten very little, if not any prophecies straight up from the books. Do we need more prophecy in the show?
I think it'll be useful to direct story. I don't see how they wouldn't want to use it, Matt. But I think, to be fair, we didn't have prophecy in Eye of the World beyond the prophecy of the Dragon Reborn.
You have to go back. I mean, now that's the thing is, right? Like, this is that part where, as book readers, we fill in all the details, right? We have all the information already. And so I can't tell you. I can't quote what prophecy we get, right? So there you go. Like, in book 1, like, the absence of it, for us, we're just like, hey, there's all these things you could be throwing in, layering in. But I can't. Yeah, I have to go back now and read it. Now I'm, like, annoyed. This is what I'm saying. We're going to break these books down, and then we can kind of do a kind of comparison. Todd, are you hopeful that we're going to get more prophecy? Because Moraine does kind of lead us to believe, like, well, can you really believe prophecy at this point? You know,
that's one of my theories, is that now that Moraine is stilled, whatever she is, that she is going to go really in depth into the prophecies. And at least that's kind of what I'm hoping, is that she's going to be studying that. That's one of my quick theories that I've got for season 2. Who knows if I'll be right, but that's kind of what I'm hoping. And I, like Tal said, there's really not much in the first book, but it kind of starts expanding from there. And I thought it would have been cool if they would have put them, like, through the intro. I watched the first couple of shows. I watched the intro, and then I just skipped it when I realized there wasn't going to be anything in there.
Yeah.
So, but I thought that would have been a neat kind of thing to have in the intros.
Yeah, and Randland is pointing this out. We do get viewings. We get Min's viewings. So it's kind of, I'm trying to remember how much of Min's viewings we get in the Eye of the World. We get a little bit of it. Would you say we've got about the comparable amount, or do we get more in the show than we get in the Eye of the World?
Oh, there was a lot more in the books.
Was there a lot more in the books?
In the
Eye of the World?
Eye of the World, yeah. I mean, she was just belting them out one after the other, and some of them didn't pay off till much, much later, and some of them. I don't.
Yeah, this is part of our going back and reviewing it. Yeah,
lost.
This is yeah, absolutely. This is a good question. So I think this is a good point. Shielded or stilled? This continues to be. It's got to be shielded,
Not a question.
Right? Do we need more prophecy? 90% of you, about 350 of you, had voted. I'm going to end that poll. I think it's obviously that we are. It's shielding, but. Let's go. Let's ask everybody where they're at. Shielded or stilled? I'm kind of curious what everybody's feeling about this. By the way, I'm noticing this in chat. If you're here to just say that the show sucks and you hate it, and you have no, like, you don't want to converse about it, this probably isn't a fun place for you to be in chat. You're not going to last here long. The show is here. We're here at the Dusty Wheel to talk about the show, not to just purely hate on it. So there's tons of groups out there and places to go if you just want to hate on the show. So feel free to go there. But
so Matt is yes shielded and no stilled.
Look, I was doing a lot of things.
Bad poll. Yes, get him.
I totally didn't notice it. I didn't even notice all the comments.
Bad poll, everyone. Take a drink.
I was there, like, on my soapbox telling people to, like, just go elsewhere if you're just here to the show.
Multitasking is hard.
So
that's why we love you, Matt.
So do you think that
I'll end the poll. Look, there had to be one today. There you go.
So you guys think that she thinks she's been stilled because she's never been shielded by a male before, and she can't feel it, see it?
So it doesn't make any sense if you still her at this point.
Right.
Stilling is crazy. What happened is Rafe got asked a question, and the person asking the question, I think it might have been Megan O'Keefe or Amy Ratcliffe, who've both done a lot of interviews, and they've been here on the show with us, asked, like, hey, what was Moraine thinking about being stilled? And Rafe didn't say yes to that, but he didn't say no to that. He just answered the question. So people are, like, interpreting that to either mean that he was kind of giving, like, an Aes Sedai answer, or he was substantiating the answer. So there's, again, it's how you interpret Rafe's answer. which in this way, if you want to, for example, interpret all of his answers, the answers that he's giving us, when I say like stop giving us answers, he might be loving the giving answers that are not like complete answers, and so he's driving us nuts that way, which is a good thing to do. Robert Jordan often did that same kind of thing too. So if Ray's going to give answers and when he wants to do that way, I'm totally cool with that.
I couldn't remember earlier, and Tal helped me out, whether you could still feel the source or reach for it if you were stilled and shielded in the same way. And I kind of feel like none of these Aes Sedai have ever been shielded by a male channeler before. And so I feel like she doesn't realize that she's shielded. She thinks she's been stilled because she's never had that happen to her before.
Sure. Like the idea of it, and if it's like inverted and whatever, it's kind of tied off, and she's having the same experience,
right?
Essentially, and so
plus it just happened,
right? Too.
Still processing.
People are saying about 400 voted so far in this poll, and 88% believe it's shielded. So this is what we're gonna do. We have a bunch of comments to get through. I have two callers left. Let me bring in the next caller who's been waiting quite a while to get a comment in. Let's bring them in. And then we'll cover a bunch of the comments. We'll tie this up in the next 10, 15 minutes, everybody. Thank you all for joining. It's been a lot of fun today. It's awesome to see your faces again. Hey, Welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
Hey, this is Mabu. I wanted to ask you guys, first of all, it's super cool to see all of you together. But just wanted to ask you guys about one thing, kind of like one going back to the season and then one going forward.
Okay.
So going back to the season, I think there's been a lot of talk about like character development, and like especially for like Perrin Matt Rand, people have been like, oh, I don't know about like their character development. My theory is kind of they're kind of just like letting it be slow so that they can save more for later. Like some of the stuff, character development, like Perrin's wolf thing that happened in book 1, I feel like they might tease it out later. So I'm not too worried about that. So my question to you guys is, are you worried about that? I think for like Rand's power levels too, I think they kind of want to like tease that in slower. And then my question for after the books is, do you guys think that Falme and Tyr are going to be done like in parallel? Because with like 7 seasons and 13 books, they kind of have to start doing like 2 books at a time. And my thoughts are they might make it parallel. So I don't know what you guys think about that. And then the last thing that I want to say real quick is the loyal stab in the book, stabbed with like a book inside his chest theory is awesome, and it made me so much happier to hear that. So thank you for bringing that out. But yeah, that's pretty much.
Okay, so that first question is, I understand the second question about the parallel. The first question is, how do we feel about the character development kind of being slow? Rephrase the first question because I missed it.
Sorry, I rambled a little bit. How do you guys feel about Matt, Perrin, and Rand's character development? And is it a little bit too slow for you guys? And are you okay with like, or do you think it'll be like moved faster? Or are they saving it for later seasons?
Okay, Todd, what do you think about that? People were talking about how kind of Rand was not like in much of the story. They were kind of hiding him, if you will, as the dragonborn.
I'm okay with Rand. I'm a little bit Perrin. I wish they would have done more with Perrin. Matt, look, here we go. I'm gonna make a lot of enemies. I don't like Barney. Don't like Barney as Matt. And I mean, that's just me personally. I'm hoping Donald, is that the guy who's taken over?
Yeah.
I'm hoping that he brings more to it. It just seemed to me like Barney just didn't fit. And so I'm hoping that they can move his character along in the second season. And that's one of the things I'm hopeful for, but worried about, like I said earlier. I wasn't impressed with Barney overall. And then they cut a bunch of his storyline, and I think they did that because they knew he was going to be gone. So we'll just have to see.
See, I loved Barney. You didn't like the Trollocs or Barney as Matt?
I know.
Friends,
I'm a horrible person. Hey, Talia didn't like the prologue. Come on now.
That's true. That's true.
Don't forget, I killed Loyal.
It's a good point. Good point. Do either of you have an opinion about kind of the Matt Rand Perrin growth in this one? Do you like the pace of it, or do you and just kind of assume we'll get more as we go, or did you not like the pace?
I'm hoping we'll get more. I like glimpses that we saw of like Matt and Rand, and then Matt and Perrin, Rand and Perrin, and you know, I don't like the whole triangle thing, but I have it worked out in my mind, so I'm happy. I've laid it to bed. If anybody wants to know about it, ask me in Discord afterwards. But yeah, I didn't think Perrin got enough to work with, so I'm hoping we'll see more later. And I know that, you know, Rand was the sleeper as they were all doing the "Who is the Dragon Reborn" thing, and I liked Barney as Matt. And here's where I'm gonna just to save you, Todd, I'll fall on the fandom sword here for you. Matt is my least favorite character of the Emmons Field Five. It always has been. So yeah. Barney made me like Matt. So I was actually concerned, and you know, I like Leandrin in the show. She's intriguing. I'm like, they're gonna make me like Gowan, and I don't know how to handle that.
What do they call her?
Like
Sister Squarejaw?
Sister Squarejaw. Yeah. You know, they're gonna make me like these characters that I really don't like. It's not like it's like, you know, like I hate Savannah, but I find her intriguing as a character. But I just, you know, Matt did nothing for me till way later in the series. So the fact that Barney got me to be invested in Matt's story, you know, I'm gonna miss that, and I'm hoping, you know, Donald's I'm hoping he'll do a good job with it too.
Yeah. We'll
Donald
answer your
Doodly Doo. Who was it that said that? I must spat out my tea. It was great.
Hey, thank you for calling in. We'll cover the parallel question here, but we'll let you go first, and you can just kind of listen in as we go. Hey, thank you very much. Appreciate the call, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay?
Yeah. Awesome. Happy holidays, Ed.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so quickly on that question, parallel, or do you think we're going to get? Let me think how to ask this question. I'm going to end this poll. About 500 people voted shielded or stilled. 90% are at shielded. I totally agree with this. The language of the channeling, if you will, looks like a shielding, just like you saw with Logain. I can't imagine for any reason why it would be stilling. That would just... I know people are going to say, yeah, but think of the other things that have changed, but it doesn't make any sense. I want to ask this from a poll standpoint. When it comes to season 2, are we going to get Falma? Are we going to get Tyr? Or are we going to get both storylines in season 2?
I think we're probably going to get Falma because of the Shan Chen. I wonder if there's a way to to combine the two in some way. Like, you don't need Tyr so much as you need, the city and the country don't matter so much as the premise of consolidating power and information and making having a jumping off point, right? And so I think they're going to go to the waste. I think maybe they skip Tyr.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm not sure. I mean,
that's the other option I didn't include.
Well, you know, Falma is the once the Heron to set his path, twice the Heron to name him true type of a thing. And you know, we get the world starting to realize the dragon has been reborn after Falma, and Tyr is when the world figures out who the dragon reborn is. And I don't know if they're going to happen in parallel, but I think they're going to happen one right after the other.
Okay, so you're going to think we're going to both. A lot of fans are saying about 300 people have voted quickly on this, and thinking 60 some odd % are in the both camp. Todd, are you a both or Falma or Tyr?
I think they'll use Tyr. I think Falma is out.
Okay.
Unless they change the map.
So then, do you think you think Egwene's not going to be?
No, they can still do all that and still do it in Tyr. I don't think they need Falma at all. Yeah, all right. I think they don't need it.
So they're going to consolidate
any of that. Mm-hmm.
I love this comment in chat. You guys in chat, I know you don't understand this, but maybe you do. You're entertaining me and my guests, those who are watching this. And your chat, the stuff I see going on, like just modding. You guys are amazing, by the way. Thank you very much for keeping this an enjoyable place in chat to be for everyone else. So I really appreciate that. But I saw this comment about the Shan Chan, and now I lost it. Shoot, it was like, oh yeah, Andrew Adams said the Shan Chan are stuck fighting that little girl on the beach, so they might be tied up. So that's right. That made me laugh. About that, the way the season ended, did you like that? Yeah, Natalia, obviously. Are you a thumbs up? You liked seeing the Shan Chan come in and the wave coming?
Dude, forget the wave. The visual of the domain 8 with the weird golden balls in their mouths because they're not even people? Like
The weird. Sorry. Hashtag
The
weird,
gag and then the
hashtag
whole.
weird golden balls in their mouths.
they were sort of golden ball gags.
Yeah.
Like they weren't like
Yeah.
it was not good. But it was visually like fucking cool. Sorry. It was really cool.
Yeah. Did you like seeing the Sean Chan at the end, Mary?
Yeah, it was. It was dramatic effect, and I'm still laughing at that meme. The very last shot of the little girl with her bucket of clams, the tidal wave, and the caption is, F this one oath breaker in particular.
Oh yeah,
just
that's a good
great.
meme. I love that. Shoot.
The line of warships, and you see the weaves coming off of every single warship, and it's obvious they're warships because of the spikes and everything, and it's just so ominous, and then this just giant tidal wave coming in, and who cares why? It looks cool. It's the cliffhanger. It's what we're gonna have to theorize on. What is this? Where is it going?
400 of you voted, by the way, on season 2. Will we get both? Still got 60% of that. Todd, I'm going to get your opinion about this. We're going to jump to all the comments. We'll get our last caller in here. But this poll, I want to say, did you like the look of the Sean-Chan? I've seen a lot of back and forth on this from fans. So, Todd, did you like the look of the Sean-Chan?
I didn't like the Noah Dam, and I'm sorry, Talbot. Those look like pacifiers to me, and I wasn't
the golden pacifiers.
Yeah.
Well, they had
the golden. That's a good way to say it. The golden pacifiers.
They had the mouth pacifier ball
Disagree.
gag.
If you look at them closely,
they had the dam around their neck and shoulders, and the gray dress, and the Soldam had the bracer. There was no leash.
So that is going to be. That's going to be a breakdown question we're going to have to get to. But yes, I'm kind of curious what people are going to say about this one. Chris Leaping wrote, "I have booked." By the way, thank you for the tip. I have booked 2 question. How long was Egwene Damane? Some say 2 to 3 months.
Weeks.
Others say about 3 weeks. What are your thoughts? How long do you think the show will make her captivity in season 2? Thank you and happy holidays. So quickly, we can't dwell too long on that question, but let me go to you, Mary. It was just 3 weeks, wasn't it?
No,
it was 3. It was
3 months.
several
No, it was 3
weeks.
months because
It
that's
was
right.
months.
The flicker time took away months. That's right. So yeah, it was months. I forgot that the flicker time that they spent was.
Mary,
was
could
a
we
lot.
say as long as 6 weeks? Like it was more than 3.
It was more than 3 weeks, but it was not like season changing.
No.
But was it months or was it? See, now somebody out there needs to give.
I want to say 6 weeks.
I'm gonna go look it up.
somebody in chat will look it up faster than you. I didn't think
Challenge
it was more than
accepted.
a couple weeks.
I don't trust them. I trust Mary. Like, are they Theorylanders?
Because it wasn't like the full time that the flicker was it. Now I can't remember. So, while you all look that up and get us the final answer on that. Let's see. Squeak von Mousemeyer said, "I'm hung up on this. In books, I cannot recall any Proto-Aes Sedai serpent rings. Brandon said they're important. Are rings that lose Latra and Ishamael wearing Terangreal, Sangreal, or Angreal, or just serpent rings?" Quickly, for you, do you think they were some type of Angreal, Sangreal, Terangreal? No.
Yes.
Okay. Yes and no there.
Yes.
Okay. I think they are some type of Sangreal, Terangreal.
They looked the same. So you're saying that Ishamael, Luz Theron, and Latra Pasai all had the same piece of jewelry?
What if
Also,
they
yeah, I think it was- yeah.
What if it's like keys to the nuclear bomb, and they all have to have them to do the 9 rods of Dominion? That was my thought on it.
Oh.
So he
So
is
there
the
are
actual.
6 other rings?
Sure. I think that.
I think they were. Yeah. By the way, people are so all over the board. And Mary, have you found an answer on that question?
2 months, but
2
I'm
months?
trying to get some confirmation.
Okay. Mary's trying to get confirmation on that. Question on this one: do you like the look of the Sean-Chan? 70 to 30%, basically. About 400 of you voted on this one. I'm going to ask that same question. Were the rings that Luz, Latra, and Ishi wearing some kind of Angreal, Sangreal, or Terangreal? See what people think. Okay, next comment. Zeus said pacing is mixed. We need more character development, more time in the sets, and more world building. Perrin's arc was really bad. Nothing to do. Miss Sarah James, question for the panel: where's Rand going next? What are your opinions and theories? So, what do you think? Quickly, what's your theory, Natalia? Where's Rand going?
He went to the waste.
To the waste. Todd, where's
We
Rand
thought
going?
like that's where he went.
The waste. Yep.
I think he looked towards there. I don't think he's on his way to the waste. I think he looked that way on purpose. I think it's a misdirection. But that's my thought. Mary, where do you think Rand's on his way to at the end?
Tier.
This is one of those. We do see him in the library, so I wonder if something's going to come back from his visit when he meets up with Loyal, right? So I wonder if we're going to find out that he saw something there, and that he's on his way somewhere because of maybe a prophecy or something that he read. Rant Moore said, my favorite theory for more fuel when we see the look of the Quendalar. Is it Quendalar? Quendiar. Sorry. That one I always get wrong. The crystal Matt got from the Aiel is a piece of their seal, perhaps. Oh.
Okay, was the seal, was
Okay.
the floor that they were on? Because it was friggin' enormous.
Yeah, down there where the horn wasn't hidden. Is that what you're talking about?
Exactly. But yeah, I like this. I love this theory, Rant. The idea that the piece of jewelry, whatever you see, that pink thing with the Aiel that's in the cage, is actually a piece of Quendiar, and maybe from another seal that's been kind of corrupted and maybe breaking down. I love that.
Nice.
Blue Lou Boyle said, I think it's worthwhile that those of us who love the story give constructive criticism and praise. I love the Dust Wheel, love the prologue. Totally agree. Go give as much constructive criticism and praise as you can out there. Have all those discussions. The more of it, the better. It's the non-constructive criticism and praise, I guess, that's less helpful, and more so, in my opinion, the criticism there. But do whatever you want to do out there. Go have fun. Mandarb said, what are Mary's thoughts on the showmen so far? There you go, Mary. Have you confirmed months on this one, Mary, for us?
No, I only found the one reference. I'm gonna have to go grab the book, but that's in the other room.
I'm
Listen,
surprised.
I just finished The Great Hunt, and I will say Varen clocks. She says it took us months to get here.
Well, a
The
month is longer. A month is 28 days.
But the
weeks
issue
are
here is when the girls got there, how long had they been there before? So they had been there a couple of weeks. Like,
I didn't think it wasn't the full time.
No, so I would say it's between 3 and 6 weeks.
Okay.
So
we'll go with that, and we'll come back on that question for anyone out there. Season 2, Rantamore said, will be a season of prophecy and identity. Totally agree with that. Hopefully we'll get more prophecy in Season 2. Kate said, can we officially call non-readers watchers? I'm sure they read other things. I know, I thought to myself, like, let me welcome our non-reader. They don't read. They just watch things. I do. I just feel like if I call them watchers, people are going to be like, what's a watcher? And I'm going to have to say, well, it's people that haven't read the books or non-readers. So maybe I'll just be like, people that haven't read the books is probably the most clear thing. But yes, watchers is a fun one. Maybe we'll come up with a name eventually that everyone will agree on. And the last comment here was, he who comes with the dawn, or with the wine said, stolen theory, shield is knotted and inverted or invisible because it's made by a
male channeler.
Male channeler, maybe that's what they meant. There is a character very close to Moraine that's expert in undoing knots without even seeing the knot. Okay.
And yes, no, I haven't answered the question about Min yet.
Yes. So answer that question. What do you think?
So far, so good. Definitely not just a sexy lamp. She's a bartender at a bar in the Borderlands, and is tired of people coming up to her and asking them for their future. Although I like the conversation that Moiraine had with her. Basically, it's like, you think it's bad now, be what I want, or it's going to be a hell of a lot worse. And she did it with just a smile. That was just so Rosamund Pike of just, I've got you. You're going to help me. Yeah.
Or else.
You can complain about it, but and Min just seemed a little bit more of a character. But I like Min in The Great Hunt. I think she's fabulous in The Great Hunt. It's the later books that the character falls flat and becomes just a sexy lamp perched on Rand's lap. So
I like Ashley's toss a coin to your watcher.
Watcher, I love it.
See, any angsty fan coming in and just to trash on the show, we love to delete your comments and send you on your way. I love seeing those. I really get to see them in chat, but they're fun. Go hate elsewhere. Okay, so Dawson Cowell said, I'm on my 17th reread and just read this today. Chapter 37 in The Great Hunt. We've lost time. I would say we've easily spent 4 months in coming here. Yeah. So the question here, Dawson, is more like how much time between while they were doing that were they actually with the Shanshan? That's I think the difference here.
I think they spent 2 months with the Shanshan, and then they had to have months in the tower as well because they weren't just green, people who didn't even know how to channel. And then they had to have the relationship building between Egwene and Elaine, and the novice raising ceremony or the acceptance ceremony for Nynaeve. So there was a lot going on during that 4 month time hop.
And this last comment is Shamael's shield made by the True Power. What do you think?
No, we saw it.
No,
we did see it. Well, and it looked just like the one power that we've seen before, and one would think that they would do something different with True Power.
Maybe. I don't know.
We don't know, but yeah, that's a good question. It's an unknown. I think that's one of the theories that will kind of persist. Were the rings that Luz and Latra and Ishi wearing some kind of Angreal, Sangreal, and Terangreal? 63% said yes. So, okay, everybody. I think I got through all of the comments. We have one last caller. I'm going to get final thoughts from my panelists, and we'll end this for tonight. Thanks all. Hope you've enjoyed this. Let's bring our last caller into the show. Hey, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
Hey guys, it's Anas.
Anas, how you doing, man?
Hi, Anas.
Oh, dude, doing great. Love the review with the OG crew.
Yeah, right. We can't wait. I can't wait to break down our adaptations. We got to figure out.
Oh God, it's gonna be horrible. I love it.
How poorly did we do? So, Anas, what was your thought or comment you wanted to call in about?
I mean, the big thing in terms of season 2 and what we're thinking, the big thing I'm waiting for is the big Varen entry, right? So we see Varen kind of she was, I think, with the group of Aes Sedai that came with that little seat, and she's right into the story. My thought is that we'll probably, instead of Moraine goes off to Adeliz and Vandene, but who else should Moraine go to that is a researcher and knows about the Dragon Reborn prophecies and
Cadswing,
being shielded or stilled, other than Varen?
Ooh, okay. So Varen could be like they could bring Varen in that way, which makes sense. I would totally agree with that. I love that theory. Do you like that? I've seen Natalia. You kind of shook your head.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I'm dying to see Varen. Like, I'm so excited.
I want to ask then, fill this poll in for me. Who are you most excited about seeing in season 2? Varen, Lanfear, any Trakan, or I should say anyone related to Trakans? No, you wouldn't want that in there. We have to put
do you need a character?
It has to be somebody new. Yeah, a character that's new. Yeah.
Gaul. Fail.
You want Fail? Anas, I'll let you throw the fourth one in here. Well, who would you say? Who are you most excited about seeing? Bail Doman. Yes. Okay, yeah, okay. There it is. Varen, Lanfear.
I want to hear that
Gawain,
accent.
Galad is the third option, or Bail Doman. By the way, I gave Elaine, Gawain, and Galad. They should have like the greatest possibility of winning this one, but I also know how much people don't like some of those characters. So, yeah. So that'll be an interesting poll. Hey, Anas. What I guess my curiosity for you is, where do you kind of hope Rafe and his crew, do you hope they kind of give us the same type of adaptation? Do you want them to hew closer to the books? Have you just enjoyed what they've done so far? Where are you at so far with season 1?
I mean, I think, one of the things that I've really enjoyed is how well they've brought some of the off-screen scenes onto the show. The Blood Snow, they showed us Age of Legend, they showed us Logain. So there's definitely things that you could add like that, from book 2 and maybe book 3. So I've overall liked what they've done with that respect. So I think there's a lot of kind of room to stick to, the narrative, but still add a lot of these off-screen scenes that were, possibly really good. And, like the other thing, we didn't talk about was the shorts and how much that added to the lore. And, you got the Fall of Manretharin in those shorts. And I think Ray said we're going to get more of those. So I think that would be an awesome way of building, more lore for fans.
Yeah. Yeah, more of those even between seasons. I thought Rafe said something like there were some deleted scenes perhaps we might see. So I'm hopeful that they'll release some assets that they have to kind of keep stoking the fire, if you will, of the excitement around the show. Yeah, it's Rand Althor said in chat, no more going rogue. What's interesting is I liked a lot of the scenes that they did give us that were not in the books. I really appreciated that they actually showed other things that were happening, like on Winter Night, that you never see. That was like really important, I think, to developing like why we cared about some of these characters. I like that we got backstories on some of the parents, more so than we got in the books, and that you saw some of these things and reasons to believe it. So there was a lot of stuff that wasn't in the books I'm really appreciating that they did bring in. But I know a lot of fans also don't like that we didn't get enough of, if you will, some of the other, if you will, the scenes that we did want from the books. And so there's kind of a mixed bag, I think, of wanting some of the stuff we never see versus wanting some of the stuff that's in the books that we don't also get to see. So, hey, Nas, thank you very much for calling in, man. Thanks for being our final caller. And final question for you. How did you rate this first season?
It's 7.5. I think if I watch it again, it'd probably be an 8. I think episode 8 left a little bit of a downer, but I think at least a 7.5.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. Hey, man. Talk to you soon, okay? Appreciate you calling in. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks. Have a good night.
Natalia, I was hoping you'd be back so we could say goodnight. Last question here. Almost 400 of you voted. Who are you most excited about seeing in season 2? Varen got 50%, basically. Landfear, 30%. And then Elaine, Gawain, and Galad beat out Bael Damon. So I'm kind of surprised. I thought Bael was going to pick that up. Okay, final thoughts from the three of you. What is the scene you're looking forward to most in season 2 that you're hoping gets adapted into the TV series?
Matt beating Gawain and Galad.
Matt beating Gawain and Galad. Yeah. That fight is a scene that I definitely want to see. How about you, Mary?
Egwene escaping the Damani, the Sanchez. The whole caper involved in making that happen.
Yep. How about you, Natalia?
I am going to pick Nynaeve's accepted test.
Ooh. Accepted test. Yeah, the testing turn. There's so much. This is the problem.
I'd really like to see what Zoe could do with that.
Zoe's been brilliant. Oh,
spectacularly, like even just the last scene, if they just gave us her and Lan on a beautiful meadow with the 7 towers and
Yeah, Flicker is coming up. There's some Mirror World stuff I want to see. Teleron Riyadh. Man, there's... Good luck, Rafe.
I know.
Good luck, because these next two books are so much.
Dance with me, Shadow Man. Dance with me.
Well, this is the problem. They're so much harder, but maybe easier in the sense that all the plots exist.
I guess that's
all the things, all the pieces are there. So I'm really hoping that they hew closer to the book in this one, as far as scenes or kind of plots, because there's so many to choose from. That it just makes sense that you can develop the characters in so many ways. The accepted test is a clear one. Like, why wouldn't you do that scene? It just makes sense. And why wouldn't you give us the Shan Chan are coming in? Why wouldn't you have that plot at least, or something to do with the Shan Chan in a way that we would see that? So I'm hopeful. To this last point, Jay Diggity said, kind of cool. They're trusting the viewers to figure things out, honestly. Agreed.
100%.
100% agree with that. Let the viewers figure it out. I love the Aes Sedai answers from Rafe sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, just let me think that Loial might be dead. That's all I'm saying. I want to think that Loyal might be dead. Okay, thank you three for being here. Thanks, everybody. The new year is going to bring a lot of breakdowns. We'll be back doing live adaptations, but it's to be different. We're going to flip it on its head and talk about our adaptation that we did and look at one of the episodes and examine the choices that they made as opposed to what we were going to make. We'll have fun with that. And to 2022 as we wait for this next season to come out whenever it does. So the longing has begun. Cheers to you all. Thank you, you three. It's awesome to have you back here. And thanks to everybody that's been in chat.
Great.
Thanks, like I said, thanks to everyone that has been respectful in chat, even if you disagreed and don't like some of the changes. And for those of you that stuck around this entire time, really appreciate it. That's it, everybody. I'm so glad we had a chance to kind of go over these last things before 2021 ends. Can't wait to see you all in 2022.
Bye.
Bye-bye. As we say around here, good night from the Dusty Wheel and Smash to Black.
Welcome to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel.
You went right to kill it. Look at you. You're all ready. You're just done. I mean, this is like this is one
really
of the
well.
biggest scenes. Hold on, everybody. I didn't give away a mug. So I'm going to start a mug giveaway. Taylor, I know. I just saw it. I just saw it. Everyone here, I know, for people that left, come back. We didn't give a mug away, everybody. So hopefully you saw that. Hopefully you're back here. But don't click anything in it. We're going to put it in the mug. So hold on, everybody. They're like,
Smash the raffle.
Chat hasn't come back yet. They'll realize that we're back here. So, okay. So Taylor, throw us a raffle in there, and we'll do a giveaway here.
That's amazing.
All right, nobody's in Discord yet, so it's okay.
I know,
Hopefully.
right? I know.
Hopefully.
I know.
Mary, tell me about your theory. Work me through this Egwene and Perrin situation.
Okay. While we wait. All right. So, in my mind, Perrin does have feelings for Egwene.
Yeah.
But they're not reciprocated, and they don't need to be. And I think he comes to terms with that in episode 8 when they have that conversation.
Okay, so
we always will be.
The raffle's there.
Yes.
The raffle's there, and so people can enter the raffle now.
Okay, good. Enter that raffle.
Yeah, when Egwene chose Rand, he walked away and went to Layla.
I don't.
What are we talking about?
I don't think that. I think he may have. Yeah.
Everyone's like, why are they back? We forgot to give away a mug. So if you're seeing that we're still live, you have to be in chat to enter the raffle right now. So if you left, sorry about that.
Right.
You ended the show, and then I saw people like, hey, what about the raffle? So we're back. We're back to give away a mug. And while we give away a mug, apparently Natalia and Mary were having a conversation. What were you having a conversation about?
Oh, my theory of the whole Perrin, Egwene, Rand love triangle thing.
Oh,
and,
okay. We're talking the triangle. We're going.
Yeah. It's not a triangle.
It's not a triangle.
It's not, and I hate that term anyway. But I think Perrin had feelings for both Egwene and for Layla, and when he saw that Egwene didn't feel the same, he respected that. He still had his own feelings, but he kind of moved on. But those feelings didn't go away. And that may have been a source of tension. I also am completely on board with the theory that that Layla also had feelings for Egwene. I'm 100% on board for that. But unfortunately, we didn't see that pan out. And I think the fact that Perrin had these feelings, knows that they're not reciprocated, but he's still respectful. He's like, but Egwene's still my friend, and still a very good friend of mine, a close friend of mine, and it's growth. I love it, and I don't think it's going to be really a plot point, or at least I hope it's not a plot point. But it's part of Perrin's emotional arc of growing. He's got to get, he's getting the external forgiveness that he's seeking for what happened to Layla. Egwene was the first one to say, no, it wasn't your fault. It was a horrible mistake. It was a horrible accident, but there was no, you wanted to kill her behind it. And I think he needs to hear that to believe it himself. And I think that's going to be part of how he learns to accept what happened. He may never forgive himself for it, but at least he can accept what happened.
Okay, thank you for filling that time of talking about the non-existent love triangle. Because people I just asked, the people that are here, is Perrin, Randon going to love triangle? Most of us, 91%, are like, no, clearly not a love triangle. We've just been kind of killing some time here, folks, as we bring back the mug. That's right, we forgot to give away a mug, so we came back online. So hopefully you've had a chance to enter. Taylor, you can go to close us up here on the raffle. That means you have like maybe a second to enter the raffle if you haven't entered it yet. ! Raffle is how you enter it. Only enter it once. That's not going to matter if you enter it multiple times in chat. And then we're going to pick a winner of that mug here. And then I saw a question of how you can get the mug. If you don't win it and you want a mug, you can find the link in the description of this video to the store. But I recommend waiting until Zazzle has a sale, which is when I wait, and then I buy them. So some of you have been waiting like 4 or 5 weeks. That's because Zazzle hasn't had a sale. That's just how it works. Okay, Taylor, go ahead and close us up here, and we'll give away this mug. And to the question we have, 200 people have voted, and yes, 92% have picked the right. No or hell no, it's not a love triangle. Okay, that being said, I want to point out something that Rafe said that blew my mind a little bit. He said, Rafe said that there was like that thing is going to still kind of be part of the show moving forward. And I was like, something to that effect. I don't know the exact wording, but I was like, no, let's not have that be a part of it. But so for those of you that are hoping you're never going to hear anything like that ever again, you might. Taylor, I don't know, it looks Zoom might have frozen.
If 3's a throuple, what's 4?
Oh, there we go. Exactly. So here we go. Let's pick our winner. The raffle's closed. Here's cheers to the winner of the raffle here. So thank you, everybody.
Salut.
We're waiting. Who's our winner, Taylor? Lisa Donaldson is the winner. Congratulations, Lisa. Hopefully you're still here. Please reach out to us on Discord, or you can reach out on social media. But yes, congratulations. Hopefully we see your name. You won the mug giveaway tonight. And yeah, basically,
very dusty
there she
mug.
is. Lisa's right there. Oh, yay. Congratulations, Lisa. Just reach out and we'll figure it out. We'll get you that mug. Like I said, jump over on Discord or on social media. Let us know it is you, and we'll get you that at some point here in the next couple weeks. So that's what we came back for. Thank you for coming back and joining the raffle in here. Congratulations once again. Let's try this one more time. As we say around here, good night from the Dusty Wheel, and smash to black.
Welcome to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel. You went right to kill it. Look at you, you're already. You're just done. I mean, this is like, this is
really well.
scenes.
And now I'm like, great, my turn.
And if you don't like that, and you want to say, well, Robert Jordan could have made the two rivers all white. He could have, but he didn't. So
Just complimented me on my dress, and as you can clearly see, I'm not wearing one.
I see Lukumi as something along the lines of a Shida Haran analog.
It does make sense why it outlasted the breaking.
Yeah.
See, this is why I have Therese in the show, because she's going to correct everything that.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Dusty Wheel Show. What? Meme Off Challenge. Yay!
Pair of like baby face mounted on like a huge body. So like all of a sudden,
this is not just
like,
a traditional fantasy, right? There are sci-fi
And
elements.
just a moment
for those that
ago,
are kind of
Rafe tweeted something. So let me get my guest in here with me, and
probably I would say put in 70-80% of the work. I got to be over the shoulder and be like, no,